Hello, everybody. Welcome back. YouTube.com/Geek.Aloud. It's not a Tuesday night. It's a Thursday night. It's 8 p.m.-ish. So we're kind of here. It's the Gaming Enforcement Agency, of course, myself. Unky Dunky, you're on Discord, mate. How are you?
Mate, I'm doing much better than what I was Tuesday, so my apologies for not being here Tuesday night, but Thursday is better late than never, and I'm moving slightly better than I was towards the start of the week, and this cold is slowly clearing up. So, let's talk video games, because that's all I've been doing the last week, and a bit is playing video games.
Perfect, mate. Good work. Thank you. And Bully, of course, on Discord as well. How are you this evening, sir?
Very good, lads. How are you? And I think as Unky Dunky says, it's Tuesday somewhere in the world, so let's get cracking.
Indeed it is, mate. Indeed it is. What have we got up this evening? Oh, no, I need to tell you guys about the runner shop. Sorry, guys. First off, we do our games interrogation, deliberation. The two Steves and myself will tell you about the games we've been playing this week. We'll go into it in detail. Of course, Overwatch 2, that's been the big one. And then we have, Steve, help me out. What's next on the show? I can't even remember. Right, that's news, of course. Overtime, that's right. Then there's news. Then there's a standoff. And then we come to you in the audience. Any comments during the show, bang them in the YouTube chat. We will get to you at the end. Without further ado, let's hit the newsroom. If I have a news button here somewhere, that'd be great. No, not news at all. Game one, my God, going beautifully. Game one this evening is the PlayStation Plus new service. Steve, what can you tell us?
So the new PlayStation Plus hit this week. I completely forgot about it. I just saw you and Bully talking about it during the week via the PlayStation chat we've got going for our G.E.A. Boys. And, I completely forgot and jumped straight on there and just obviously paid for the highest tier, being the whale I am. Bully, cue the whale sound now. Bully, cue the whale sound.
Oh, you're not going to get me to do that.
I'll do it. Sounding more and more like a whale each week. So I jumped into the highest tier straight away just to check out those back-to-back games. Initially, it was quite fun just to be jumping into your Splinter Cells and Jack 2 and what else did I play? Ape Escape and Ape Escape 2 and Toy Story 2. But then there's not a whole lot really there on offer other than those ones there. And I did put quite a few hours into Siphon Filter and really enjoyed my time with that. I also got used to the old school control scheme that it uses, which is very weird, using your L2 and R2 to strafe as a third person action character. But
sorry, can I jump in there, mate?
Yeah.
I just want to say I checked out a PS Vita game from, it was Super Stardust, whatever. And I got to say, they have done nothing for updating the controls. Like, obviously, they've pulled it off the Vita, but from my experience, that they need to do a lot more work in converting the old control system to the new controller. It sounds like maybe you had the same thoughts with Siphon Filter?
Yeah. It was like that, and I would have liked to be able to do different controls with it. I did come to terms with how it was being played. And actually, the control scheme in the end actually does work pretty well for such an old game, and I think they did stick with that control scheme all the way through Splinter Cell 1 through 3 as well. But what I did like, the implementation with these old games, because the controls can be quite frustrating and lead to some pretty quick deaths when it comes to platforming sections, or even just getting shot and fighting this helicopter boss that I know I didn't pass the first time playing Splinter Cell because it was so infuriating. But now you can just hit start on the controller and just rewind your gameplay back to wherever you were, and it just keeps it in a save state consistently for you. And you can use that same feature to save and load your game, as opposed to actually using the save feature inside the game, which is, I think, an absolute godsend for these old games. Bully, what do you reckon?
I don't think I've touched on many of the PS1 ones. I've touched on a few of the PS4 ones, but I think the biggest thing for me with this is it's this situation I get into fairly often when you've played a good game that you've got to the end to. It's a paralysis sort of thing. And there's a lot on there to offer, but I don't think there's anything that's overly compelling at the moment, to be honest with you. I mean, I just went through it. I went through it this evening. I've downloaded, since it was released in Australia just over a week ago, 20 games. I've played 5 of them, and I don't reckon I've put more than 30 minutes into any of those 5 that I've played. And
which 5 did you play?
Oh, I'd have to have a look. So I played Kiwi. That was fairly terrible. Trolls Rising, just because I remember playing them, funnily enough, as much as my aversion to mobile games is. Trolls Rising, they had a mobile version that I actually put a bit of time into. So I tried that. Witch and the 100 Knight. The Marvel Puzzle Quest. I did like the old Puzzle Quest back in the day. This doesn't quite hold up, but There was that, and I think that was it. And there's another 15 or so that I've got sitting there, and I'll just sort of look at those and go, yeah, I've got a little bit of interest in them, but I don't know which one I'm going to start with, if I'm going to start with one, or whether I'll just move on and play something new.
Yeah, I think, see, for me, all that kind of more shovelware stuff, I'm not really interested in. I did actually put a lot of hours into Softed and Jack 2. Jack 2, because I never really played it back in the day. I remember loving Jack and Daxter, and a lot of people say Jack 2 was their favourite. I'm finding it is really good, but it has also some real bad checkpointing where you could be pretty much at the end of a level and then die, and you have to start right back at the start of that level, which is very frustrating the way they give you this health meter, which has got 8 health things, but every time you get hit, you lose 2 health. So why not just have 4 and lose 1? I don't know. It's a real weird design choice, but anyways, and it was weird. I forgot Jack 2. You get guns, which is kind of different and novel. Like you can sort of see their lineage into Uncharted, how they sort of started to make Jack sort of a bit more older and sort of not quite as childish and platforming, and that's sort of where they've gone down their third-person action sort of roots from there. So it's kind of been fun to sort of play through that and see the darker side. And the first time Jack talks is hilarious, and and Daxter obviously has to tell him to be quiet, even though he was quiet for the whole first game. I thought that was quite amusing. So I was quite enjoying that. And so it's been fun playing this sort of games sort of more from my childhood growing up through gaming, as opposed to going back even further and just playing a lot of that shovelware stuff. But as Bully said, like a lot of that other stuff, like it's probably not worth the price of admission for that extra tier. Like you're probably sitting prettier in that middle tier but unfortunately you look at that middle tier and I've either played all those games or own all those games already. So if I'm just picking up a PlayStation for the first time, the value on offer here is actually really good. Like a lot of the titles in there are just really good games. So as I said, if you're not a Sony pony, if you haven't been around for ages, you haven't had a PS5 since launch, you are getting a lot of these games for free essentially on this service. So it does have a Game Pass style about it, as it is good value, but just not as good value to us guys are going to buy games day in, day out when they come out.
That's true, man. Can I give you the prime example of where they're missing the value or not providing value for us, like long-term PlayStation people? Prime example, Horizon 2. It's the PlayStation 4 version, not the PlayStation 5 version for the 2-hour trial. Yeah, if you want that 2-hour trial. And they don't make it clear at all. It looks like it should be the PS5 one. So you download, I can't even remember what it is, say 30 gigs, or that doesn't tell. Anyway, you download it, the PS5 version, you launch it up, it's like, no, you can't play this. Then you delete it down to the PlayStation 4 version, and then it gives you all the warnings about 2-hour trials and all the rest of it. But that is not clear enough. And why not the PS5 version? It just seems real crazy to me.
Yeah, well, it's funny you say that, because one of the trials games, there's 2 of them on there. They're both on the screen say full version, but I can't remember which one of the 2 it is. You download it and start playing it. Mm-hmm. And it actually says in the game, once you're in it, purchase full version.
Yeah, right.
So I don't know whether it's just some of the teething problems they've got at the moment.
Yeah.
They're trying to work out how it works and each different game and all the rest of it. But just a weird one there as well.
The other weird one I noticed is real minor gripe, but if you go in, you can see on screen here, I'm just sort of flicking around the UI, but at the end of each row, there's like view all games in this category. And I've noticed in a couple of them, I didn't take note of what they were, but there's a couple of games in there that they're listed as though you can download and play them, but their price is still on them and you can't download them. So it's just like they've got their filter set wrong or something. For some reason, they're servicing a couple of games that aren't in the service, but in the list, which is really weird.
Yeah, it's true. And you also notice that we don't actually have PS3 streaming games like the rest of the world seems to have as well, which is frustrating.
So disappointing.
I know for a fact that, and I'll speak about it soon, is that Xbox's Game Pass and Cloud has been working really well to play and stream games. So I don't see why Sony can't offer the same for us.
Yeah, it's crazy. Oh, I should let anybody internationally know. The reason at the top of the screen it says PlayStation Plus Deluxe, as I understand, that's only available in regions where the PS3 streaming isn't available. So in Australia, no PS3 streaming. So we get the Deluxe tier, but I think it's only for countries without the streaming that get the Deluxe tier. Misuse of the name, I would suggest.
Yes.
But that's been good. Oh, Steve, sorry, I was going to ask you, man, which were the games that they went back and added trophies to?
It's a good question. I think it was the PS2 games, because I've noticed trophies popping for. Actually, no, they've even popped for Ape Escape. So I reckon I've been getting trophies for Ape Escape, so the PS1 games. I've been getting them for Siphon Filter, was getting trophies for Jack 2, which I don't even know if Jack 2 would have had trophies back in the day. So I haven't checked an exhaustive list, but all the ones I've been playing, I've been popping trophies for. So, and that includes Ape Escape 1 and 2, but it has to be mentioned that Ape Escape 2, for whatever reason, has weird graphical glitches going on it. It does warn you before you play the game, saying this game will suffer issues. I'm like, well, why is it suffering issues? If it's going to suffer issues, don't put it on the service.
Fair call.
I can almost issue an infringement notice for that.
Oh, good, because I don't know where that button is right now.
I think the issue with that is the glitching occurs because I think what we're getting at the moment is the PAL version of these games, which has an issue that isn't in the NTSC version of the games. My understanding is PlayStation have said that they're going to, in the next month or two, give you the option of which one you want to have. So you either do the PAL on 60 hertz or the
and to the NTSC. Am I right in thinking? Yeah, they run at higher frame rate, don't they?
Yes, they
higher
do.
refresh rate. Yeah.
Higher refresh rate. Yeah. So, and speaking on that, I know there was another option you get when you press that start and rewind function and stuff. I have found with Siphon Filter. And wasn't so much with Jack 2, but with Ape Escape, you can actually zoom your whole screen, so it'll fill the whole, instead of doing like your old TV style, you can actually fit the whole game to the size of your TV. So I can play Siphon Filter, on the full 77-inch TV, and it doesn't actually look too bad. You don't lose any detail in the game, and you can set it up to look like a modern game as well. And it's sort of the resolutions increase as well.
How are they filling out the sides? Are they zooming in? Like, are you cutting the top and bottom, or
no? There's no cut. The screen, the game just zooms itself to fit to your TV. So once you get over the initial fact that it feels like it looks stretched, it doesn't actually look that bad at all. Like, it's not like it looks ridiculous. It actually feels ridiculous going back to the normal version, because they almost feel like tall and skinny afterwards. But it's definitely adaptable, and I think that's my preferred way to play it, was to sort of fit them to my screen. So another decent option they give you, apart from the fact they take away so many options that we probably still need.
Yeah. Oh, the only other thing I want them to change is they've got a lot of the old stuff that they've brought back in has the little PS5 logo on it. I think that's really misrepresentative. I wish they'd say, PS4, PS3, PS2, PS1. It should state where it's coming from.
PS5 version of this PS1 game.
Yeah, and it's like the PlayStation Portable Stardust I was playing says it's a PlayStation 5. You put it up, like, this does not look anything like what it should.
Yeah.
They could just be a little bit more honest, I think.
They could. I think there's a few teething issues the first time they put sort of a service like this out. I know Xbox has been doing it for a while. I couldn't even tell you whether they had teething problems when they first came out. I'm sure they did. I know their catalogue has obviously expanded since it's been out. It's had a lot longer to sort of, get the juices flowing and get their services working properly, which is why Cloud's sort of working really well for them, when PlayStation's really fresh into it. So I can see this service being really good. And we're getting, I think, Stray in July, which is day and day for the deluxe version of PlayStation Plus. So that's a brand new game we're getting for free on the service. So I think with the more type of games like that we start seeing through the service, the more value we're going to see as, gamers that, have everything that's already on the list of stuff to play.
Definitely. Oh, here's a pop quiz for anyone. Crash 4. Was that given out for free somewhere in PlayStation Land? Was it a PlayStation Plus game, or was it on the PS5's launch? The PlayStation Plus
4?
collection? Yeah, Crash 4.
I don't think it is. Yeah, I know it's on PlayStation Plus in July as a free game, but I haven't heard it going free before that.
Well, I've got it, and I never paid for it, and I didn't get a code for it. They must have given it to us at some point. I'm scratching my brain. I can't work out when they gave it away for free, but it's definitely in my library. I definitely didn't pay for it or receive a code. So I'm not sure how that happened, but it's already there. So I just feel like they're double dipping, and I was going to accuse them of offering even worse value in the lowest tier next month, but I guess not.
Well, just speaking of the value, Troy, the other thing that concerns me a little bit, and I know with Game Pass, games come in, games come out, etc., but they've already flagged that I think the Shadow Warrior game and Red Dead Redemption 2 are already flagged to be leaving the service in the next couple of months.
I saw that.
Which seems to be pretty quick turnaround that you normally don't get with Game Pass. You normally get a 6 to 12 month window.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think. Yeah, I think their shortest is 3-month exclusives, but even once that exclusive's up, it still lives in Game Pass and it's still accessible. It just becomes available, on PlayStation. Tunic is a good example of that one.
Yeah, so I guess my only concern there is, they've launched it with, I suppose, a modicum amount of fanfare, but sort of going forward, is it going to be how we're looking at it? You get a game for a month or two and then it drops out, and then what are they replacing with, and how long that's going to be there for? And that'll be the interesting thing long term, I reckon, is the value you get out of it that way.
Yes, absolutely. Two questions. First one, can either of you tell me the last time Xbox launched something as rubbery as this?
Halo Infinite.
Nah. Oh, that's a fair pull. I like that one, Billy. In my mind, I'm like, the 360 Red Ring of Death is the last time I can think of Microsoft stumbling off the blocks.
Yeah, because Microsoft's always done well with their games with gold when they first brought that out in the summer of games or whatever they used to call it. They started nailing all that digital download stuff way back in the day, and they've been doing it well ever since. So, as you said, I reckon probably Red Ring of Death's probably the biggest stumble they've had. And maybe the DR, or is it DRM stuff they were initially, putting forward to Xbox One when it first launched, which killed them for that generation. And they've always been playing catch up since.
The old Dodd Matrix. If you don't want to play online, play an Xbox 360.
Yeah, so I don't think they shot themselves in the foot there, but we haven't put the news story in there for tonight, but there was a news story going out that Xbox has outsold PlayStation again in Japan. So I didn't go into the details of it, but that's the second time I've read a news story like that in the sort of past couple of months.
Yeah, nice one. So final question, just in wrapping up. Is anybody going to stay beyond their initial period? Is anyone going to top up?
I will. I'm already at the highest tier, so I will probably stay there. I'm going to wait and see what they give us and if it's worth staying there. If we can start getting a better back catalogue of games, there's a few games there that I'm waiting to maybe see, like James Bond Bloodstone. I've batted on about that before, being nothing on Game Pass. If that stuff comes there, I'm all about it. And if they can start bringing a lot of those sort of older sort of PS3 games up there and even give us some up resolution or up scaling of frame rates and stuff like that, I'd be in for that. So I'll wait and hold on to it for now, but I can see myself dropping back if there's games coming out that I'm getting for free and I finally do start to see value in that service, because I haven't purchased the game like I normally would. And B, funds are a bit tight because I buy everything. So it'd be nice to pick up some games for free.
Definitely. How about you, Billy? Are you sticking around beyond your initial trial period?
Oh, look, I'll see how it pans out. I think both of you guys know I'm a physical media man, so this sort of goes against where I'm at. But I'm happy to give it a go. I'm a bit the same as Steve. If they got the PS3 streaming in, that'd probably get me in for the long haul. The fact that the launch lineup is, as was suggested before, fair bit of shovelware with a little bit of okay stuff mixed in. That you're probably going to punch through most of the good stuff in the first month or two, and then it depends what they feed you after that as to whether you're going to stick around like you do with Game Pass. Because at the moment, for mine, that seems to give you a lot more value. You get the day one stuff from Microsoft. You seem to be getting a higher quality and a higher tier of game through Game Pass. So it'll just be interesting to see how that pans out.
And you get cloud gaming, Bully.
Yes. We laugh, but I use that feature on Xbox just about daily. It's such a good feature. It really is missing. It's really missing in the PS Plus lineup. Obviously, it's limited to our country, or there might be a few others, but, the main players have got it all, so I'm sure it's not a gripe for them. For me, I think it was 166 days it was giving me, the initial $30 or whatever and the upgrade. But for my money, I will not be sticking around at all in the deluxe tier. I'm going to back off right to that first tier as soon as this trial period's over. I don't see the value here in that extra, what is it, $7 a month, I want to say?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, so not for me. I'll be moving on. Speaking of moving on, Game 2 this evening is Overwatch 2. Once again, a warning. This is footage from a live stream previously, so I'm on the screen twice, but listen to the guy on the left. Overwatch 2 beta, I got in for free, believe it or not. They sent me a code. How'd you guys go? Did you get on the list?
No, I was late to the party and I didn't know about getting the free beta. There was only that infringement notice we gave out last week for having to spend $60 to get early access to the beta and a whole bunch of other stuff, but who cares about the other stuff anyway?
Wait. Are you saying you don't want to pre-order a battle pass that's, coming in 2 months or something?
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, I don't want to do that. I just want my free beta like you got. I have expressed my interest in it, and I believe I'm waiting for an email from Blizzard. So I'm refreshing my emails as we speak to see if that email's come through to say I've got access to it, just so I can give it a go. Because I was hot on Overwatch 1 initially when it first dropped as well, and I watched all the CGI movies they had for all the different characters and got really pumped up and really enjoyed the ebb and flow of combat as well. I'm not hugely a massive multiplayer gameplay. I love my single player and co-op experiences more so than competitive multiplayer. But there was just something about the art style and the fun gameplay. The fact that you can earn points while being a healer or something like that. You don't necessarily have to notch up kills to get experience points in this game. So I'm all down. I'm all down for that, for doing that again, and just sort of having some good fun in a free to play game. And hopefully the payment model's not too egregious when it comes to Battle Pass stuff.
Yeah, hopefully not. For my money, it was fantastic. My criticism would be, it just felt like Overwatch 1. I didn't see what struck me as new features or anything. They felt like old maps, old characters. So I'm not really sure what's so sequely about it. It feels just like number 1. Are you keen to have a look at it, Bully?
I was going to say, could that be the fact it's a beta or...
Well, I don't know. Usually in a beta, they're trying to show out their newest features and see if they're going to work on day one,
True. Sorry, Bully, go ahead.
No, well, I haven't got much to add on that one. I never played the first one. I'm not a massive multiplayer man, and
fair enough.
I think it's with most of these games, unless you're prepared to put a lot of time and effort and energy into skilling up and getting to a high level, you just get whooped every time you get in there. So probably not for me.
Although there's a campaign coming for this, as far as I'm aware. As well. I'm not sure if that's going to be part of the payment stuff we have to pay to get the campaign, or whether that's part of the free to play. But I'm interested in giving this a go.
Aaron was saying, mate, that it's like paid DLC, the campaign, and I originally thought that was weird, but then I realized Fortnite did the exact same thing. So I guess they're just following the Fortnite model there.
Yeah, it might get me to play this, Troy, and I'm going to talk about stuff later. What do you reckon it might get me to play Overwatch?
I have no idea.
I'll just tell you, maybe if it was on mobile because no one plays it, I can use my controller and completely own people.
That would be handy. But I absolutely loved it, enjoyed it. I'm just not sure what it's a sequel for, but it's free to play, so I'm not complaining at all. I'm enjoying it, looking forward to the full launch. I had a great time with it. I think it's well worth checking out.
The answer to your question, Troy, it's a sequel to Overwatch. Just to clear that up.
Sure, but if it's all the same maps and characters and features, isn't it just a re-release of the first game?
Mate, however they want to make money.
$60 per beta access, I think.
That's right.
Yes, anyway. All right, game 3 this evening is Neon White. Unky Dunky, I understand you've gone hands-on.
I have. I tried to stay away from this because I was like, I don't know. It looks kind of cool. It looks kind of strange. It's made from the developer of Donut County, which is a completely different game altogether, although I love Donut County. Don't get me wrong. Donut County was a cool little fun game.
Available on Game Pass. If you haven't checked it out, definitely check it out. It's a great game.
And unfortunately, Neon White, not available on Game Pass, weirdly only available on PC and the Switch. So
odd choice.
You got the Switch... Yeah, very odd choice considering the game is a very fast, as you can see on the screen, very fast-paced game. Those silky frame rates of a Xbox Series X or PS5 would go nicely with this one. I even think a 120 frame per second game mode would work well. I don't know that it's running at 60 frames on the Switch. It seems to run fast. Whether it's trying to hit that 60 and doesn't quite, I'm not sure. But nonetheless, the game is brilliant. It is such a fast...
Sorry, man. What games run at 60 on the Switch? I thought the Switch capped out at 30.
No, there's games that run 60. Like, I know Bayonetta runs at 60.
Okay.
What else have I got? I've got quite a few. There's a few games that do manage to hit the 60 frames per second on the Switch.
Okay, perfect. Sorry, mate.
Yeah. So I'm not sure, but this game, it's so fast, it's so furious. It's such a weird game. I tried to explain it to Bully during the week to say that it's like, I can't remember what it said, first-person shooter, card deck builder, relationship sim, time runner game. It's real hard to explain. Like, you've got, as you can see, you've got these levels and you've got these cards. So the only reason you don't actually have guns in your hands, I watched an interview with the developer, is he couldn't actually get to grip on how to actually animate a gun in a game. So he just stuck with the cards, and then they just shoot out whatever you shoot, which I quite like. It adds a quirk to the game as well. But your whole idea is you're this guy that's been sent to hell, and you've got one last chance to make it to heaven by competing in these trials of these levels to defeat these demons in these levels at the fastest way possible. And you collect these cards. They're all based on different characters in the game. You're neon white. You've got neon red, neon yellow, neon violet. They all have different cards. So neon yellow is a handgun, neon purple is a machine gun, but they all have discard abilities. So say you're using your machine gun thing to take out the bad guys, you discard that ability, it becomes like a bomb. But to use that at the right time, you've got to hit that bomb to either project yourself up throughout the level or take out a whole bunch of enemies. Or you've got the handgun, which is the yellow one, so you shoot it to take out the enemies. Then whenever you discard that card with the button, you get a double jump. So you're racing through these levels, trying to do them as fast as possible, get diamond tier throughout each level to hit that top speed for the level. And then once you finish that speed run, then you can actually go after the gift, which is in the level, which sees into the whole like social interaction stuff, as you can see on screen as well, where you've got all these different characters. That's neon violet on screen as well, and they want these gifts. So you go back to the level with no time constraints at all. You're just going to try and find your way, so it's more like a platformer, and you've got to use those different cards to try and get to where that gift is. Then once you've got that gift, you can actually give it to that player and unlocks dialogue options and stuff. I know a lot of people just skip the dialogue in this game completely because it's quite weeby, so Bully won't be skipping it at all. He'll love that stuff. He'll lap it up. He'll be all about this game. If he likes his Twitch shooters and time trial stuff, I'm not a huge fan of time trial stuff originally, like normally, but for whatever reason in this game, I'm constantly chasing that top thing. How can I get through this level faster? Once you beat it, I think on a gold standard, which is not the top tier, but the next tier, it'll give you hints throughout the level about where you can go, where you haven't thought of going throughout the level, and you try and hit those and take out the demons and get to the end of the level as fast as you can. It's really addictive gameplay. I've been through the whole first lot of the story and sort of unlocked the hub area but just the way, how quick you've got to actually hit those fingers and stuff initially is quite daunting, but it just becomes a rhythm game almost, where you just when to tap, when you know when to discard, when you want to double jump.
Now you're talking my language, a rhythm game, you say.
Yeah, it really does feel like a rhythm game. Like, as you can see, like on the screen, they're using different abilities to get through the game, and the levels are really quick. Like the longest level I think I've played, I think I had to finish in under 45 seconds. So they're really quick in and out. You just you're going as fast as you can to get through this level. And as I said, you want to replay these levels just to sort of get that faster sort of way through it. And it'd be kind of cool to see other people jump on Switch and play this game and combat people for times on levels and see who can do get competitive and see who can do it faster. But yeah, I wasn't expecting to like this game as much as I did. Even the story stuff, I found myself compelled to get these gifts for these characters and sort of find out the backstory, because you're a character that's lost their memory, so you don't know what's happening, and all these characters seem to know who you are, but you don't know who they are. So, no, it's very interesting.
You lost me at, what was it? Weeb dating sim platformer, but you got me straight back at rhythm game. I was in there. Now, if Bully was so inclined, could he play just the dating sim Weeb part, or does he have to participate in the actual levels?
He'll have to participate, at least to pick up the gifts, because the gifts are what you need to give these characters to further their stories and stuff. And once you actually give them a gift, the first gift you give them, it'll unlock more narrative stuff to figure out what's going on. And the second time you give them another gift, so if you finish all the first lot of levels, I think you've got 2-3 gifts for most of them, they'll actually unlock side missions as well. And the side missions can be completely different. It could be get through this level with only using the weapon's special ability, or get through this level without dying at all. And they give you these weird random levels that look nothing like these heavenly levels that you're seeing here. So it's quite cool. You're obviously going and doing these gift and story-based stuff gives you more content to play as well. So it does really feed into wanting to play the game and sort of unravel the mystery of why you're in hell and who you are and who all these other characters are. And there's a lot of weeby stuff going on. There's a lot of show me how to shoot the gun, White. all that kind of stuff, which I know Bully's going to absolutely lap up. He's going to love it. But,
I was going to say, you're talking about gifting stuff to characters, getting into all that. It sounds like you're one step away from coming over and having a look at the Weeb library and just jumping straight in.
Just jumping head first into it.
I'll have you on Doki Doki Literature Club by the end of next week.
I don't know about that. Is there shooting and demons and stuff like that in Doki Doki Club?
No, but there's writing poems for attractive girls.
Okay, I'm in. But no, I mean, it's not free on any platform. Like, obviously, if you've got a PC, you got to pay for it. It's on the Switch, you got to pay for it. It's not I think it's $29.95, $39.95 or something. But it would be the perfect Game Pass game, especially as it'd be running on the Xbox and still give smooth frame rates, which I think is what this game would absolutely die for. Even the ray tracing and stuff on the water would look amazing. And I've seen people play this on PC and they're just absolute freaks. But yeah, definitely playable on the Switch and a really fun game if you want something a little bit different, a little bit left of field.
I'll certainly be jumping all over it if it does come to Xbox Game Pass. Final question from me, Steve. With the nope, totally lost it. There we go. All right, that'll do it for Neon White. How about we move on to Game 4, shall we? Which is right there. Game 4 is Back for Blood. Now, Steve, you put this on the docket earlier in the week. I saw you put it on, so I reinstalled it and played it. And I'd forgotten how good it was. But what was your experience with it this week, mate?
Mate, I fell off this mainly because the difficulty trying to play this game solo in an online. You only get the online mode, so you can play it solo, but you need players to match up with, and it was very frustrating. Even playing with like a coordinated group, and I say coordinated group being us, not being that coordinated, but even we couldn't pass the very early on stages of the game just due to the spawning rate of some of the heavier enemies and just being absolutely decimated. And that sort of ruined the fun for me. But I was just jumping through on cloud gaming the other day and saw this on there, and I jumped in. I was immediately struck by the fact that when it booted up, it had online or offline mode. I'm like, what? There's an offline mode now. So I did some Googling, and fair enough, they've got a patch in, I think, April, which added an offline mode where you play with completely 3 bots, and those 3 bots are actually capable members, probably more so capable than playing with some other people that will remain nameless. But they are really and playing, and they've got a new difficulty mode which is called Recruit, which is what I've been playing on. Even that, no slouch, like it can get difficult. But what you use that mode for is to play through the game and then unlock these new the cards, which is what the game bases itself off. These cards give you these perks, and you can install up to 15 cards in your deck to give you different abilities per run. And what you're doing while you're playing the game is trying to find these cards so you can create a really good deck. And then by the time now I'm just about to finish the whole game, I'm in the last mission at the moment for the final boss. And then I've got a deck now that could probably get me through solo, probably through the next difficulty and maybe even the one after that. But the plan is to play it through the next difficulty and then keep unlocking better cards to keep going through the tiers that way. And for me, the gameplay has just been so much fun. Like, there is such good feedback from the guns and the sounds, and it feels so good to fire a Magnum or any kind of pistol and get these upgrades through the supply lines now that you can get new cards and new upgrades for your characters. And it's just got a really good loop, and the way you can create a run from anywhere in the level you've unlocked. So say you want to go back and play level 2, but from midway through, you can create a run that starts there. And if you want to play that with friends, you can. If you want to play it offline, you can. It's just got so many options, and it's just so much fun to play. And this is what I found myself playing pretty much every time I get a spare moment, or whether it's through the cloud on my new Samsung pad that I got with my Xbox controller in bed, which is running flawlessly, or I'm playing it on the TV, and it's cross-saving because it's Xbox and it just does it. There's nothing about it. It just says your save game is updated, need to reboot the game. You jump back on your TV and all your save stuff's there. Same thing with the Samsung pad as well. Like, you literally just jump in there and you're off to the races with where you're up to. So it's just been so much fun to jump back into this game. Like, it's way better than what it was. I even paid for some DLC for it just to unlock the new hive stuff you've got, which have been incorporated throughout the missions. You can come across hives now, and they're completely extra missions throughout the levels, and there's new guns, and you get 2 new characters. It's great. Troy, what are you going to say?
I was just going to ask, how does that hive thing work? Like, if it's in a level and you've paid for it and I haven't, what?
I don't know how it works if you're playing multiplayer. From what I've read, though, I think if one player's got the DLC and they playing that, if they're the host, you'll be brought into that hive. So there's higher-end gear and higher-end cards in these hives. I came across my first one tonight. Actually, I hadn't seen one. And you sort of get the option to either go to your safe house towards the end of a level, or there's a hive, and you just sit below it or sit on top of it, and it'll suck you into that hive. And you go through this thing and do some stuff and find some high-end gear. And I found an awesome M1 rifle, which is a new rifle, I think, with the DLC as well. And it's just this gameplay loop, and it's just so much fun. Like I went back to initially, I was of the opinion that World War Z was a more fun game to play, but World War Z has a lot more hold this space and defend the fort kind of gameplay, which I don't really like. Whereas this is sort of it's moved me through, and a lot of people like that because in World War Z you're sort of moving from different country to country, different aesthetics, snowy mountains, and then you're going off to like an Africa or something like that. Whereas this is more of a you're in the suburbs and fighting off zombies. It gives you it's more of a Last of Us vibe. You're moving through this town, you'll come back to locations, but then you'll go through a different area of that location. The level plays out slightly differently. And come the end of Act 3 now, this campaign has taken me like maybe 10, 12 hours of just playing this campaign, and I've had fun the whole way through. Like, in the most recent time, I don't think I've had this much fun playing a first-person shooter for feeling, for gameplay, for the loop of the grind. I just absolutely loving my time with it.
How much more do you think you'd enjoy your time with it if it was on the PS5 and you had the DualSense in your hands?
Oh, DualSense would be cool, I reckon, with some of these guns and stuff. But I don't know. I'd probably say no, not so much for the PS5, mainly for the fact that I have been doing a fair bit of the cloud gaming stuff with this, and I wouldn't be able to then link up my stuff. So that, for me, is probably where this game is sort of doing it for me. The fact that I can literally, chuck it on a handheld device, essentially, in bed with me whenever I want.
Yeah,
I could even, if I wanted to, be at work. Don't tell me when I work. I could be at work and hotspot my phone to my device and be hooking up my Xbox controller and then playing, Back 4 Blood at work. It's or on holiday. Just with that, like, it's such a good experience that just I don't know if the PS5 could compete with it.
Yeah, fair call. Oh, and just a note for people out there, because I only stumbled across it, but you probably already know this, Stephen. You may have already said it on the show, but you can stream from your console or their library on the cloud. I didn't realize that. I thought if it wasn't in their Game Pass list, I didn't think it was streamable. But even games that aren't in that list can be streamed from your home console, even remotely, as long as they're installed and playable on your home console. You can play them on your device, which is just an amazing feature.
Oh, it's absolutely great. And just another thing about the game, I was going to say, like, I can see you're playing with the crosshair, like the little cross in the front. I don't like that in games. I prefer a little dot. And you can actually, I went to menus, you can actually change that to a little dot.
Oh, nice.
It's just small things like that they've just put in there that I just thought you can change the color of your reticle if you want. If you want it to be red or blue or green, you can change all that. You can change your field of view now if you want. You can bring it all the way back like a fish, like you like to do normally. I've got mine set to 95. I know you're probably going to get yours set to 125 or something.
If I had known that was a thing, this footage would all have been fish-eyed as well. I didn't go looking for the field of view slider.
Troy, go in there, change your thing to a dot site, change your field of view. Mate, this game is just lighting me up at the moment. Like, for whatever reason, it's one of those games. It's just hooked me.
I love it, man. I love it. And I've just remembered, sorry, let's double back if we can to Neon White. Sorry, Steve, my question from earlier was, do you know how many levels there are in it?
90, I think.
Wild. And how far in are you and how many hours has it taken?
I'm probably only 10 to 12 levels in, and that's probably 2 hours maybe worth of gameplay, because I went back. Once I did all the first levels for the first time and unlocked the hub area, I actually went back to all those first 10 levels and replayed them and got all diamond status, so all the fastest way possible, and then found all the gifts to each level as well. So I was making sure I had all those gifts found and everything. So it's got a lot of gameplay stuff. So it's a sizable game.
Perfect. And sorry about that. Coming back. All right. Now, next one is mine, and it's Chivalry 2. Speaking of, as Steve was just saying, he's been sucked in by a game all week. This game has had my number. I played it briefly, for, what was that, maybe 4 months ago or something, and it was good, but it didn't quite get its hooks in me. But something about it, there's been a recent update, and it's really speaking to me now. I'm so hooked on it, and it's the perfect counter if you're playing Elden Ring. For some reason, I can't explain it, but those two games interchange beautifully well. I don't even have a good reason for it, but the big thing of note here in Chivalry, which is pretty amazing, I think, is the select button will take you from first-person view to third-person view at any time you like. So, if you're shooting an arrow, you switch it into first-person view if you like, but then, maybe you're wielding one of those great big behemoth sword's called. I'm blanking on the name. But, the sword that's as big as the player. A broadsword, I want to say.
Is that a new feature?
No, I don't think so. I think it's been there all along. But yeah, so you get in the middle of the battlefield and you've got this broadsword that can take out, 3 people at once sort of thing, and you bang, you're out to third person view and you can line it up and get all 3 at once, and then maybe drop back into first person if you've got a platforming section or something. It's really impressive, and it's such a weird feature, just that jump in and out. It really reminds me of like a Forza car racing type game where you can just switch that perspective on the fly. That's fantastic. There's 4. There's 4 classes, archer, and then just different levels up all the way to knight. And they do a little bit different with each class. So, the knight in all his heavy armor moves a bit slower, but obviously he's got way more force on the battlefield. The archer moves really quick, but if anyone touches him, it's crazy. Like, he's just almost dead instantly. And this game is the first game ever to make me appreciate, well, I guess not fully, but even give me a slight insight into what it would have been to be an archer back in the day. I've seen a lot of Robin Hood films and stuff and never considered what it would be to be an archer. But in this game, if you've just got the bow and arrow and, it's slow to draw, slow to aim, and you've got a broadsword wielding knight coming at you, it's terrifying. You've got nowhere to go and you've got no way to defend yourself. Death is 2 steps away and charging fast. It's so empowering. It's such a good game. I can't recommend it enough. If you haven't played Chivalry, I don't even know why it didn't speak to me previously, but it's really got its hooks into me. I absolutely love it. Bully, have you played Chivalry or the like previously?
No, I haven't jumped into this one. I think it reminds me a little bit of the name's escaping me right now. There was set in Bohemia. Very, very realistic. It'll come to me in a minute. I'll be able to tell you, but that's what it sort of reminds me of, that sort of first-person Skyrim type thing, but ultra-realistic.
Yeah, it's really wild. So that's Chivalry 2. I'm playing that on the Xbox. It's not in Game Pass. However, moving on to Game 6 this week is For Honor, which is in Game Pass. Now, set in the same time, it's, sword fighting, knights, all that fun stuff. But the difference between these two and why they're great back-to-back, Chivalry 2 is like your Forza Horizon, very arcadey, and then For Honor is much more like standard Forza. It seems, not that I've ever been in a sword fight, but it feels far more realistic. The movement's a bit slower. Your stamina gauge exists for one, but depletes quickly, so you've really got to be considerate about how many moves you take before you back off to regain that stamina. But both games are so fantastic, and I've just been jumping between them all week. I've been getting my medieval knight-wielding, sword-slashing fun on, and it's such a good time. So if you've got Game Pass out there and you've skipped over For Honor previously, it's well worth a download. It's really enjoyable. I can't recommend it enough, and especially the online modes. The offline story stuff is not really doing it for me, but that online combat is fantastic. Steve, have you checked it out at all, mate, in Game Pass?
I haven't. Honor's one I've never actually touched, and I don't know why. It, like, the graphics and stuff all appeal to me. It looks really cool. It's kind of got that Soulsy look to it. Are you fighting just other players here when we're watching your footage here? Is this all?
This is all just online multiplayer stuff. Yeah. Oh, sorry, I should elaborate. No, sorry. In the For Honor thing, there's 3v3 or 4v4? I think it's 4v4. I think, in For Honor, but they also have on the battlefield, like maybe 20 just AI soldiers running around that are like easy to kill fodder. Gotcha. But to give it that battlefield, like there is a whole battlefield going on. There's AI fighting each other, and you can go and kill them if you like, but you're really just hunting the other players. And they're obviously got a mark out over their head, so it's really easy to see which ones are the real players and which ones are the AI. It's really well done.
Sure, is this your footage here? I'm just
100%, mate. 100%.
I haven't seen you die yet, and you've killed a lot of people, so I was just confirming.
I know, that's what I'm saying, man. It's been speaking to me all week. I don't know why, but my sword-wielding hand has come good, and off I've been to the races and just having an absolute blast. It's a lot of fun there, specifically For Honor. If you're a Game Pass player, I'd say do yourself a big favour this week.
Mate,
check it out.
I'd say while you're in this form, you should probably hit up Elden Ring and try and beat that last boss while you've got this sword-wielding form, because let me say, that last boss, he's a doozy.
I know, I might go another maybe 2 weeks in the For Honor / Chivalry 2 and then double back to Elden Ring and really give him a piece of my mind.
Good to hear.
All right, so that'll do it for that one. Then Game 7 this week, just came out 2-3 days ago, I believe, is Fall Guys. Unky Dunky, you've been checking it out.
Yeah, a little bit different from slashing guys with swords. This one could be less violent, although it can look quite violent sometimes because these poor guys do take a beating. No, I really appreciate what they've done with their free-to-model game now with Fall Guys. I played it back on the PlayStation days, and from what it felt like is there was a lot of pressure put on the player to actually win the crown and win the game to actually get some kind of progression in the game, whereas now I feel like you're earning points even if you're just playing a game, which I think's really good progression and stuff. And I know they've got a battle pass and stuff that you can get, which I did purchase because my little fella wanted the Altair costume, which I can see if this is your gameplay, you've done the
Wow.
It is. They gave it to me for free, mate. I haven't spent a cracker on it, so not sure why you had to pay for it. And it was just included in my library when I turned it on, but...
Yeah, no, for me, I had to get the Battle Pass to get this, but no, I've been having a lot of fun just jumping into this. It's just, I don't put pressure on myself to try and win the game anymore because I know that's not what it's about. Like, I know I'm going to get some kind of experience, even if I don't win the crown, and I have gone very close a couple of times to winning the crown, and my little fella has looked at it, and he seems to know what it is, even though he's never played the game. I know he watches a fair bit of YouTube, so I feel like he's like, that's where he knows where his Fall Guys are. Like, Daddy, can I play Fall Guys? So I've installed it on his Switch and hooked it up to my same account as my Xbox, so he can go and play and lose as much as he likes on there. He's not going to unlock anything for me, unfortunately. Hopefully he gets better at games, and I can see some progression on my side as well. But it's a bit harder on the Switch because I think it's running at 30 frames per second, and it's a lot harder to jump something that's swinging very, very fast when it's in 30 frames as opposed to the nice silky 60. But no, it is a fun game. They've expanded the amount of games you can do and the different kinds of things you do in this game now as well. I like the fact that you're not really chasing that crown, and you can just come to a level where it's just last man standing as opposed to racing for that crown. So no, I'm really enjoying the free for all. I was going to say Free Guy, but that's a movie with Ryan Reynolds. Fall Guys.
How about you, Billy? Have you checked out the recently released new version?
Not the new version. I played the original when it first came out on PS Plus a year or two ago. I still remember it for one of what I think was one of the more ridiculous trophies on that release was having to win three.
I was going to say, can I guess what it is? And it's winning the however many games in a row as it getting a crown.
3 in a row.
I thought it was 5.
Oh, well, that's even worse. I
reckon it was 5. I reckon it was 5. You had to win 5 crowns in a row to get a trophy.
I don't know how you're doing that, to be honest. I've got no idea.
I don't think I've ever seen the third round in a game of Fall Guys.
Oh, look, it's one of those things. It's not without its charm, and you can jump in and have a little bit of a go here and there, but it's not something I'd be into long term, to be honest.
No, it won't live on my hard drive long. It's just the queue times and the level load times feel like they're longer than the actual minute-to-minute gameplay. Like the amount of time you're in there actually competing doesn't feel long enough compared to the time you're waiting to do it.
I reckon it's the time you play, because I was playing it at probably 3 p.m., 4 p.m. the other day. I was getting games constantly non-stop, and then tried to jump into a game last night about 10:30 p.m., and I was just constantly in a queue with 34 people and couldn't get into the game. So... which can be frustrating for a game that is only multiplayer. There's no other experience other than that. But once I'm in there, I'm having a fair bit of fun. And, this is, for all those people that are waiting for not Suicide Squad, what's it called?
Gotham Knights?
No, the show on Netflix where they all kill themselves to play a game.
Squid Game.
Squid Game.
Squid Game, yeah. If you're waiting for Squid Game Season 2, just play this. Because it's pretty much the same experience, except with less death.
Obviously, you haven't been watching closely how many times my guy's fallen to his death in this platforming.
You do it well, Troy.
That's it for the scan.
For a game that's about platforming. Of course you're not doing well.
That'll do it for the standard games this week. Let's jump on over to the overtime. Steve, what have you been getting up to beyond what we've already discussed?
Oh, this is embarrassing because, as I previously mentioned, I have been sick and I did put my back out because I turned 39 on the weekend. And how do you celebrate turning 39 and turning old is by doing your back on the exact same day, Troy. I
hope it wasn't as embarrassing as getting up out of a couch or something.
It's up there. I was literally picking up a giant leather cushion, and that's all it took. Thankfully, as I was picking it up, it provided a perfect position for me to fall into and remain there for the next 5 minutes because I couldn't actually move, Troy. So,
oh, that's the worst, man.
Yeah, so I mean that's the worst of it. The best of it is the fact that I have been able to play games for the last sort of 5-6 days uninterrupted and have had nothing else to do as play games. So I jumped, and as I mentioned previously during the show that I've been jumping into Game Pass cloud gaming with my new Samsung device that I got for my birthday. So that's sort of what
on that, mate.
Into.
How big's the screen on the Samsung?
That is a good question. It's decent size.
Let's assume it's
biggest.
7 inch is pretty common. Let's assume it's a 7-inch screen.
Yeah, it's probably like almost 30 centimeters by 20 centimeters.
Yeah, right. Cool. Sorry, mate. Back to you. My apologies.
No, that's all right. So a decent size screen, but just syncing my controller to that's what got me back into Back 4 Blood, and then it also I installed for the first time. Well, not installed. I played on the cloud Battlefield 5 because for me Battlefield 5 it's one of those ones I never jumped into. I didn't really want to. I never really got interested in playing the multiplayer for that, but I really wanted to play the campaign. I just didn't want to do the 80 gig install for the campaign itself. And I'm like, oh, well, why the cloud's working? Why don't I just jump into the game and play the campaign? And Troy, bully, straight away, this campaign, you play one mission and it just jumps you between a few characters very quickly. It's got some really good music. The graphics are just absolutely insane, even running cloud on a device.
Yeah,
and
right.
I was just, it did something to me so much that I needed to jump on there and spend the 1,500 hours it took to download the 80 gig game to my console so I could play it on my TV.
And how much better did it look on there?
It looks pretty damn good, I'm going to say. To be honest, though, it's relative because I got a smaller screen. Our game running that kind of graphic quality does look very good anyway because it's not obviously, stretching out over 77-inch TV, which is, it's still doing 4K, but on a tiny screen, it still looks absolutely impressive. But this game, the music, the campaigns I've played so far, I think I'm halfway through the third campaign of 4, maybe 5. I think
it's 5.
Campaign.
Yep.
Yeah, there's another one there. But I've been so impressed with what they've done and the way the game looks, the way the game handles, the feeling at which to shoot something just feels really meaty and the characters react really well. They've got really good stealth moments. There was a moment where I was playing a level where you've actually got skis, so you can actually full James Bond it and ski down a snowy mountain and shoot people while you're on your skis. It's just insane.
Nice.
I've been really impressed with this, and I don't know why I slept. Oh, I do know why I slept on it for so long. It's because it was a campaign I was going to have to spend $100 on and not play the multiplayer and do a 90 gig download. So the cloud is just, I can't sing, its praises enough. And the fact that it's made me download this game, and it's not, I've got another game coming up, but it's not the only game I've, gone and downloaded straight after playing on the cloud just because it's been so easy to play and gone, oh my God, this game's amazing. But I can't sing the praise of Battlefield 5 campaign enough. And if you haven't played the campaign for, Battlefield 5, get on there and do it. It's a cool experience.
Well, that's a call out to me, man, because I've put maybe 30, 40 hours into Battlefield 5, but that was all online multiplayer. I tried the single-player campaign 2-3 times and just it never worked for me. I never got into it.
Mate, I don't know what it's just, even if you just tuck it on easy just to get through the story, because it is quite difficult. I can't imagine doing it much more difficult than what I'm doing at the moment. I think I'm just on the regular difficulty, but in the mission I'm at the moment, I've almost given up because in the third mission, you're in this massive war that's going on and you seem to be getting shot from all angles and I couldn't get to the next checkpoint. And I finally hit that next checkpoint just before we went live tonight. So I'm back in love with it.
Nice.
We'll keep going, but I've got that many games. I'll keep going. I finished The Quarry during the week as well.
Very good. The total runtime?
Probably 12 to 15 hours, maybe more, only because we were playing it and we got to a point in the game and I remember my missus yelling out, we just completely effed the story. We can't kill the final thing. I'm like, are you sure? And I'm like, and then I was, to be sure, yep, the game kind of just wrapped up and yep, a certain character was very angry with us, the way it ended. And I was like, yep. So we went and we replayed the game through from our, and obviously you can replay chapters and it keeps you up to date with what you've done up to that point. So we replayed chapters 9 and 10, the last 2 chapters. And let's just say chapter 10 lasted a lot longer the second time, Troy. Once we made a few different decisions, it wasn't so much a decision that we made as a QTE that I might have stuffed up. I was supposed to shoot a certain thing and kind of didn't and chose not to, and that ruined the whole thing. But it was kind of epic the way it sort of played out. And playing it through the second time, the way it changed so drastically from that first playthrough, even these last 2 chapters with what led up to it, the way and different ways it changed was just incredible. And the different ways it could still be different from what we did that second time to get almost the best ending. Like, we got one of the hardest achievements in the game.
Yep.
By doing what we did, and obviously leading up to that point, you obviously have to do a whole bunch of other things, which luckily we're enough to do. Even though we'd lost 2 characters, they weren't pivotal to the story. So,
oh, they're not anymore.
Yeah, they're definitely not anymore. And I probably will play this game through again and try and do even if I have to look up a guide just to save everyone. I think I know what I have to do anyway to save these characters because I know where I stuffed up. It was quite evident when I did it. I wasn't supposed to do what I did, of which my missus told me quite bluntly, "I'm pretty sure you stuffed up there." And I'm like, I went against her wishes for one of them as well. So that's my bad. But I did lose one of the most annoying characters in the game, so I wasn't too disappointed about that. But no, The Quarry was such a good game. Like, this is S tier for me for that developer.
Wow!
Games, like I loved Until Dawn, and but I think this just does it better. I think it's a more fun story, more popcorn thrillery story, as opposed to the other one, which sort of hits on some themes about bullying and stuff, which some people do enjoy, and sort of adds a bit of gravitas to what you're doing and whether the characters live or die. But this one, you are rooting for the characters to live throughout the experience, whereas the other one, there's some people in our YouTube chat, Matt Cypress, that really enjoyed Until Dawn for that very reason and killing all the characters. But for this one, you do really want to try and get them all alive. And yeah, like for myself, and just the experience of playing it through my wife, who absolutely adored this game as well. Just one of the top game experiences I've had this year.
Did you say last week, or I don't know where I grabbed it from, but do I recall correctly, is there something like over 120 variants of how this game could end?
183, I believe, has got endings.
That's amazing. Are you going
to... And I can say I'm not going to see all endings. Hopefully that's not part of the achievements for it because that'd be insane. But I can definitely see, like, I've seen there's moments where you can kill your characters. And you know those moments where it's like either pull or try and detangle. It's like, if I pull this thing, I'm probably going to die. So I don't pull it. And you can just kill your character off then and there. So I might do a run where I try and do as quick. I reckon a quick run. And you might get through this game in 5 hours if you kill everyone else. Kill everyone off, and that's it. So I got very close to finding all the tarot cards and all that, which is, items you got to kind of find, which will tell you what's going to happen or try and help you in what's going to happen and stuff. But no, what an enjoyable game. If you do like that experience, I know, Bully, you love your supermassive games. Definitely give The Quarry a go.
Oh, I've got it on order now. You've sold me on that, and then just on a side note, you sold me on WWE. I didn't do enough reading into that and found some of my old-timey 80s and early 90s wrestlers were in it, which you've brought to my attention. So that is in the post as we speak.
If you don't want to wait for that one. If you don't want to wait for the parcel, mate, you can get a 2-hour trial, I think, on PlayStation Plus.
You can. And let me tell you, Bully, like, you're in for a treat because that game plays more like the N64 wrestling games of old than it does the 2K games of present.
Oh, nice. Well, the only problem is I've just looked at the dispatch time and I don't think I'll be getting it tomorrow. It's going to have to wait till Monday now.
Nah, that's all right. That's right. Now, speaking of Bully, who loves his physical games, a physical game I do have and have been playing because I get most of these physical, which is Kirby on the Switch. Can't speak highly enough of Kirby. It's fastly shooting up as one of the games of the year.
Is this Woolly World or something, or is it a new one? New one?
No, this is Kirby Forgotten Land. I want to say Forgotten Land, Forgotten World. I'm just going to fact check that myself for a second and just jump into my list of games here if I can actually find it. I don't know if I can, but I think it's Kirby's Forgotten Land.
Just while you're looking up, how far into it have you gotten?
I'm up to, I think, the 3rd world area. So I've just defeated the boss in the carnival area.
Yeah. So I played it when it first came out. Played through the entire game up to the final boss. Loved it the entire way. The difficulty curve on that final boss is outrageous.
Is it really?
So be prepared for that.
Did they have like? Oh, sorry, Steve.
I'm going to say one thing. I've beat Elden Ring. Okay, so not going to be an issue.
Okay, come and see me when you beat Kirby.
You've heard it here first, everyone. Kirby, harder than Dark Souls.
Anything else for your overtime there, Steve?
Yeah, unfortunately, Game Pass Cloud. I'll breeze over that only because I've already spoken about it. That it's been amazing just being able to play Game Pass Cloud on, a device with Xbox controller seamlessly. Eat shit, PlayStation, because the Xbox knows what they're doing. And also on my device, I've been playing a bit of Apex Legends and COD Mobile through the device as well with an Xbox controller, and absolutely destroying people. Troy, like you said, you won your first game of Apex Legends. You said you won your first game of Apex Legends Battle Royale. I've won 4 straight.
Wow, one more and you get an achievement, don't you?
I think so. And I can't see myself losing. The last night was the closest I got where I was playing solo. Like no one matched up with me, and I had teams coming up against me. I still managed to take out teams of 3 by myself.
Oh,
when both of those teams came at me as well. I don't know whether it's because I'm using a controller and a very good, Samsung device that can hit very high frame rates and resolutions as well. And the fact that you can set that game up to have like auto loot, that auto loots the best stuff for you and all the ammo, which I think is a game changer for this game. That's part of the game that I don't like when I play the console version of the game is having to decide what's what do I pick up, what ammo do I need. Playing this version of the game, it just does all that annoying stuff for you, and you can just enjoy playing the game. So I hate to say that I enjoy a mobile game version more than the base game, but I do because of those things and the fact that I'm good at it.
I'm right there with you, man. That auto pickup and auto sort is the best feature ever. They absolutely need to bring it out of there, put it in everything.
It's so good. And COD Mobile does the same thing with the Battle Royale. I played my first COD Mobile Battle Royale last night, won that as well. And I've also been playing a lot of multiplayer games. I've been doing 25 kills, 0 deaths, or 29 kills, one death. I've been MVP. I shit you not. Every single game I've played, which is probably around 20 now, and I've been the MVP with over 25 kills every match.
My goodness, that's amazing.
With a controller. If you want to play a game and feel good about yourself when it's multiplayer, just play the mobile versions of these games with a controller, with a decent hand, with a decent device, and you will absolutely destroy and have so much fun. So that's a lot of my time's been doing in bed when I haven't been able to move as well this week, my sore back. And the last game I'll talk about is Wolfenstein New Blood, another one which is the first Wolfenstein of the reboot game. Jump back into that. What an amazing first-person shooter game. Like, this game had no reason to be as good as it was. I think playing it back, it probably is my favorite out of the Wolfensteins 1 and 2, even though 2 is more polished. I think the story and the gameplay is a bit more meaty. I think they just do a bit more. I don't know what it is. I think I prefer the way it plays. I think they tried to do almost too much with number 2.
I agree, man. I agree.
Yeah. Yeah. And then obviously I jumped on the cloud and played some of that. What was the spin-off one with the 2 sisters or daughters?
Yep.
Yep.
I was going to say New Dawn, but that was the Far Cry one.
It was. I can't think of it. It's probably New Blood. Is it New Blood?
Oh, not sure. I'll have a quick look, man. Young Blood. You're right. It is Young Blood.
Yeah, so I started playing that. I was like, the gameplay's kind of cool, but I'm just not in it for their banter and stuff. So I'm like, why don't I just play New Blood, like the original Wolfenstein? And I started playing on a cloud. Another one I just had to install on my console because I was having so much fun. So it's not even the least of what I've been playing. That's the only ones I'm going to talk about tonight because I've been playing way too many games. Troy, please move on and talk about your games you've been playing.
Very good, mate. Where are we? Now, I unfortunately have to bring the show down about 12 notches. I'm sorry, everyone. Brace yourselves. RIP to my Vita. It ran from February 23rd, 2012 to June 29th, 2022. Unfortunately, it was in perfect working order. Now, I've plugged over 1,000 hours into the Vita, I reckon, over that almost decade, or over a decade. And unfortunately, last night I was playing Hotline Miami, and I just got a bit too excited and dropped it, and I happened to be having a bath at the time, so it went for a swim, and it will never work again, unfortunately. So, my Vita, I love you, and I will miss you forever. Second game I played in my overtime has just been Rock Band 4. I've gotten back into Rock Band 4, and it's just a fantastic game. Runs beautiful. It's an Xbox One game, but running on the Xbox Series X. Runs beautifully. And also the DLC I've got, I don't even know, a couple of 100 tracks of DLC there. And on the Xbox One, playing the exact same version of the game, the load times, I would almost say, are cut in a third, maybe, on the new Series X. It loads a lot faster, which is fantastic. But really loving Rock Band. But that's it for my overtime. Over to you, Bully. What have you been playing, mate?
I don't know about playing. I think the vast majority of my overtime check has been sitting watching the PS Plus screen, as I said earlier, flicking from game to game. Should I download? Should I not download? And when I finally download, am I going to play it? No, I'll go and find something else. So that's been the extent of my time is procrastination. And
if only they had a streaming option where you didn't have to download it. You could just stream it and play it and then decide and then download if you like it.
That might be a way, but I think that's my download times are generally pretty quick, so that's not the issue. It's more these sitting there going, "Do I really want to play this Kiwi again?" I'm not sure. Let's move on.
It sounds like the Netflix problem. You just sit there browsing the menu and never commit. Or is that just me?
Correct.
No, I think that's everyone trying when it comes to Netflix.
Perfect. Okay, so what does that do for us? I think that brings us to the news, does it not? You have the right. Oh, and I've got to flick that one. You've got the right to remain newsworthy. First story this evening is from Polygon. Headline: From Software's next game in final stages of development. Elden Ring updates coming. Steve, tell us more, please.
First thing I'll say is I have finished Elden Ring. I'm not sure if I mentioned that. I'm a pretty good gamer.
I'm working on it, Steve. I'm working on it. I'll get there before the Game of the Year discussions. It'll be in my rearview mirror, I promise.
Remember, Troy, I told you, if you finish it within the next 5 weeks, I'll chop my right hand off. You've got 4 weeks now. You've lost a week.
No, I haven't lost a week. That's part of the reason I jumped over to Chivalry and For Honor. I have no desire for you to lose your hands. I'll just burn some time on something else until the bet lapses.
No, fair enough. That's right. It looks like our Elden Ring developers, Fromsoft, their next game looks like it's going to be Armored Core. I'd say this game they haven't shown anything of it yet, but it's been a sort of rumor going around that this is the game they're working on. I could see it being the game that they're talking about in this interview as well, that it's almost, ready for launch. Whether we see it this year, early next year, I don't know. Probably going to hit that Elden Ring timeline of February 2023, I reckon. But I mean, I would prefer to see something from the Bloodborne range or Soulsborne era than this. I'm not sure if I'm in. I've never really been into the Armored Core games. I think back in the day on PC, I really wanted to play MechWarrior when it first came out.
Oh, yeah.
I really wanted a good PC, and I never got to do it. But apart from that, like the mech stuff's never really done it for me. So I'm not sure what a game by Miyazaki in that franchise does for me, or how it sort of even plays into the sort of whether it does play into the same gameplay of a Souls game. I don't know. I don't know. This kind of excites me, but kind of not at the same time. I don't know. Bully, what do you reckon?
I agree with you. I think they picked the wrong one to redo. I was hoping for Bloodborne 2. I'm still hoping for that one. But if you're going into their back catalogue, I'll be brutally honest, I would have been a lot happier to see him do King's Field. I don't know if either of you guys know that, but it's almost like a Skyrim 10 years before Skyrim existed. First person RPG done by Fromsoft, and I'd love to see an updated version of that with their new development style and the graphics that they're able to pump out. I reckon that'd be an awesome one, especially seeing as we're not going to get at this stage any Elder Scrolls game for a long time.
Is there?
Yeah, that actually does sound like a distant pitch.
Do we know? Does FromSoft have 3 internal teams?
I'm not sure, to be honest. I couldn't say either way, but I mean they've got to have more than one.
Yeah, I thought I heard somewhere recently that they've got 3 teams, 3 are in development. So it's like, if you don't have this one, don't worry. There's 2 other cooking.
Well, yeah, they'd have to, because, I mean, the way they do pump games out pretty quickly. Like, we got Elden Ring not that long after Sekiro, really. And then the gap between Dark Souls 3 and Bloodborne, they've been pumping out games pretty quick. So I'd say there's more than one studio. But it's just the fact that we're getting the quality of the games we're getting out at the click that they're putting them out, it's just insane that these guys can keep producing such good games. So I'm not writing off Armored Core straight away to be like, that's not my style of game, because every game they bring out, I've played. So, maybe they can bring me into the mech shooting genre with the Miyazaki magic. I don't know. We'll see.
Fingers crossed. I'm hoping for the best. All right, story 2 this evening, also from Kotaku. Looks like Skate 4 reveal could be coming in July, Steve.
Yeah, I know a lot of people are excited for Skate. I think it was last E3. They sort of, right at the end of the show, they mentioned that Skate was in development by the original developers of Skate. I don't think it's the same developer. I think it's the people that worked on Skate and Skate 2 and 3 that are now heading up a new development studio for Skate 4. So that's exciting. So the fact that we might see something more in this game, I really enjoyed Skate 3. It's a completely different game to your Tony Hawks and stuff, which are all about fast runs and high scores and all that kind of stuff. This is more of your simulator skate game, but I really enjoy Skate 3. It is available on Game Pass, and you can get all these DLCs and stuff now as well for Skate 3. But I'd be interested in this, and I think there's going to be a lot of people. If they can nail the feeling of Skate, I think this game could do really well.
Can you correct me here, Steve? I believe that, what is it? The boxing one, Fight Night, how it was all in the thumbsticks. Is Skate in that vein? It's the thumbsticks for tricks, not the face buttons?
Yeah, from memory, that's pretty much what it is. So you use different sort of thumbsticks to produce tricks and stuff. It does feel more lifelike and real, and you do some really cool levels where you sort of the speed builds up, and you're kind of like a not luge, but you're racing down streets and stuff, and the sense of speed's really cool. I remember going back and playing number 3, and it was so much fun that it made me sort of start reinstalling games like SSX and SSX Tricky and stuff. I just wanted that feeling of speed going downhill and stuff, and Skate 3 does that as well. So if Skate 4 can sort of nail that, I think it'd be really fun.
What was the old snowboarding series? I want to say it was PlayStation 2. I'm totally blanking on the name, but it was very much Tony Hawk's on snowboard. That game was, they had 2 or 3 of them. They were fantastic. I cannot remember the name.
Yeah. There was Snowboarders.
It wasn't that one.
Kids. There was SSX. There was 1080 snowboarding.
Cool Borders.
There it is. That was the one. Bring that back. I loved it.
Bring back Snowboard Kids. That was the Mario Kart of snowboarding games. I loved it.
I've never even heard of it, man. Was that a Nintendo one? Or?
It might have been a 64 game, actually, come to think of it. Or it was either that or a PlayStation 1, but it was definitely that era.
64 game. And I can tell you from experience, the second one, so there's a Snowboarders 1, Snowboard Kids 1 and 2. Number 2, outrageously expensive to buy in the second-hand market.
We've been trying to get it, have you, boy?
Well, there's a lot of N64 games that are skyrocketing in price, but that one is out of control.
Oh, wow. I did see at one of my local toy stores, they've got an Ocarina of Time gold cartridge for $350.
They're dreaming.
Whoa. Crazy. Cool, though. Skate 4, excellent. But could be coming in July is the reveal, but we don't even know a year, do we? Like, this could be 2-3 years off still?
I reckon this has got like an early 2023, mid-2023 release date, especially if they're going to show us more in July. But I could also see one of those ones that are like, oh, we're going to show you more. The game's almost done. Have it before Christmas. So, I mean, it could go either way, I reckon.
Well, sorry, you've just prompted me, man. When we're talking about stuff that we haven't seen a lot of, can you tell me, have we seen anything more for God of War Ragnarok than just the title screen?
Yes, they showed gameplay at E3 last year.
Ah, beautiful. I totally missed that one. I've got to go back and rewatch it. I was thinking for a minute we'd only seen a still from it. I'm like, there's no way that game's coming out this year. But you're right. Oh, that's right. The boat animation. The boat animation. That's right.
Sorry, Troy, just on that, there is a wild rumour going around at the moment that there is going to be a state of play in the next week or two with God of War and a release date for this year.
No, didn't Corey, blank on his last name. The game, yeah, thank you. Didn't he come out and throw cold water on that today? I thought he came out and said, no, it's not a state of play with nothing to announce. Just hold your horses.
I did see something about that. I didn't read into it, but there was something about hold your horses or something like that about people talking about stuff, but I'm still holding to the fact that this game is coming this year. I think we are going to get some kind of state of play soon on it. I think the footage we saw at E3 last year did look like a pretty complete game, so I don't think it's that far off.
I still have zero faith. I still am expecting it next year at some point. I don't think it's ready. I just think we would have seen more about it by now. That's all. Bully, do you want to throw in your 2 cents this year, next year for God of War 2?
I think I've been fairly consistent with it's not going to make this year, and then just some of the stuff that I've read in the last week or two, even though Corey's throwing the cold water on it, I think that's a bit more of a just to keep the hype going. I'm almost swaying towards this year now.
Yes.
Time will tell. Time will tell. All right, story 3. This is Tech Radar with an annoying pop-up, but really what they want to tell us is Final Fantasy 16 won't be an open world, but it will find inspiration from them. Steve, I think this one's aimed directly at you, mate. Didn't you love the open world in 15?
I did love the open world in 15, but granted, that was only maybe half of the game. I think for a lot of the last part of that game, you are taken out of that open world into more linear sort of areas, and I think that was more to do with the development turmoil that it went through and different visions of the game that a lot of developers had for that game, and it sort of blended the two together, and it sort of created a whole. But the open world stuff was part of the best stuff in that game. But I do like the open zone area of a game. It sort of harkens back to what I think Pokemon Arceus did this year, last year. God, when did that game come out? Time's a flat circle. I think it was this year. Whereas, like, if you can create these awesome open areas and then play around within that area, then have a different open area that's part of a different world and different setting, I think that actually almost works better as an experience than just having one open world that could come across as quite bland and stuff. So I actually really like the way they're going with this game. And from all the gameplay stuff I've seen in this, I know they've gone out and said as well, you are only playing as this character. It's not like Final Fantasy VII where you can flick between characters during battles and stuff. You are playing as that one character, which I know we've spoken about, stuff like Guardians of the Galaxy, which we much prefer to stay as that one character, develop that one character as long as the other characters surrounding you are good in their own merit. I don't need to play as them. I just need to play as a good character and build up that character. I quite like that. I've heard that from developers for this game, and I really can't wait for this. Initially, when I first saw that trailer, I think it was really early. I don't even know. I think it was PlayStation when they were first announced. One of the first PS5 directs we saw, they showed this game as an upcoming game, and we were talking about it. One of our first podcasts that we did well before G.E.A. And I looked at it and I was like, oh, that's really cool. They're going back to like the old style Final Fantasy, but I don't know because I really enjoyed the new Final Fantasy 15. But the more and more I see of this game, the more and more I'm excited of it with the summons and all that stuff. And having my man Ifrit back, I can't wait. Everything I'm hearing is good.
Excellent. And no talk of release date or anything at this stage?
No, there's no release date. I think we're going to see early 2023 as well for this game. I don't see it dropping this year. I think they did mention maybe this year for this game, but that could be hyperbole from me. I don't know if that's the case. I'm scrolling through the article to see if there was any mention of 2022, but I'm thinking we're going to see a 2023 release for Final Fantasy.
Very good. Bully, are you a Final Fantasy fan, or is there not enough dating in it for you?
No. Love it. Back to the SNES days, in fact.
Yep.
Wow.
To be honest, I think I was a little disappointed, to be fair. I thought that open world in 15, it was good. It wasn't probably as fleshed out as what they could have, and I was really looking forward to them putting more into that open world in 16 and really fleshing it out and making it a lot more alive and vibrant. And the fact that they're sort of almost dumbing it down into these zones probably... It doesn't concern me, but it just... I was really hoping for a massive sprawling open world with a lot of things to do. I know you're going to laugh and criticise. The Witcher has the open world with all that stuff in it.
No, it's a fair call, man.
I was sort of hoping for something along those lines where you could go wherever you wanted, you could do whatever you wanted. Yep.
Just remember, it had open worlds, but also you might want to call them zones because wasn't Skellige a different area within the open world, and then that first area was also a different open world version than the rest of the game. They were open areas within an open world game, but they were different areas.
Oh, bonus areas. But the main. Well, I know you had your opening bit and then Skellige, but the main part of the story was in that one zone. So if they do something like that, all for it. All for it. But
have you checked out Final Fantasy? I want to say 14 is the online one then, Bully? That is exactly as you're sort of describing, you're aspiring to.
Oh, look, I've sort of looked at it on occasion. I think the thing that puts me off is and correct me if I'm wrong, but it's still a subscription service. There's a monthly fee to it.
Correct.
And the other part of it is, from what I've seen with that, is that there's limited. So you've got the ability to buy land and build a house and all the rest of it. But because of even though it's open world, there's only a certain amount of areas that you can actually build into, and the plots to build a house come up so irregularly and cost you an absolute fortune to buy. So just little things like that have put me off actually jumping into it, even though I've heard great things about it.
Fair enough, man. Fair enough. Is that it, I think, for Final Fantasy 16?
I think so.
Cool. All right. Story 4 this evening from Kotaku again. Everything shown at today's Nintendo Direct Mini, I should say. Nintendo Direct Mini. Steve, what did they reveal?
There was a few things. Now, I'm just going to put a poll out. How many of you guys watched this thing live at 11 o'clock on, was it Thursday night? No, we're on Thursday night now. Tuesday night?
Negative, not me.
No, I missed it, but I did catch it at 4:30 in the morning when I went to the gym.
Ah, beautiful.
I was watching it in there.
I did watch it live, and I think for what expectations they set for this, being a mini and being for, like, obviously nothing first party, I actually think they did pretty well. Like, there was a lot of things in there not for me, but there's going to be a lot of things in there that were for someone, and I think that I'll pick on the main ones. Obviously, Monster Hunter Rise I enjoyed back in the day on Switch as well, and the Sunrise, also the Sunbreak stuff they showed actually was quite cool. There's, I think, early reviews going up now at the moment saying it's decent as an 8 to 7's review score at the moment. So I don't know if I'll jump back into that for that, but seeing Nier Automata, the End of Your Heart edition coming to Switch is quite cool. I really enjoyed Nier Automata, and it's one of those games that like the more you play it, the better it gets. Like, you can finish that game the first way through, but it really implores you to play that game more than once to get all the different endings, because that game just changes the more and more you play it. It's a really unique storytelling experience. I don't know if any of you guys have played it at all.
I've played the first little bit. Is this one in Game Pass or the original? Sorry. Or, oh, gosh, I don't even know how many in the series. The last one, was that in Game Pass?
I'm not sure if it's now. I think, I don't know if Nier Automata is.
No. I don't think it is. But I think with the story, though, I think what you're saying, Steve, is you've got to basically play through the story 5 times to get the actual proper ending to it.
Yeah.
And as you said, but each time you play through it, it's not the same amount of time that you have to put into the game on the second time and the third time, and things change significantly. So it's almost like, yes, you're finishing it 5 times, but it's actually just one playthrough that changes.
It's like a different game each time. You even start playing as a different character at one point. You get different viewpoints of the story, and it's just so well done. It's such a different way to tell a story that I think they absolutely nail, and a lot of people won't see it to the end properly because I'll get that one playthrough and think they're finished with the game. But it's one of those games, if you stick with it, it tells such a cool story in such a cool way.
Excellent.
Then we had Lorelei and the Laser Eyes. Don't know about that. We had Super Bomberman R2 announced. I've never really been a Bomberman fan.
The original
4, and I wasn't a fan.
The original PS1, Steve, I dropped, I don't know, easy 100 hours into it, I reckon. I absolutely loved the original Bomberman. Well, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I think there might have been an arcade version first, so I think it was the first one to consoles anyway.
A couple of SNES versions as well. They were that's where I was jumping into them.
Right, well, I missed them there. I picked them up on PlayStation, or the first one on PlayStation back in the day. That was awesome.
Oh, so I love that there's that many Bombermans. We've got Super Bomberman 2 coming out. Anyway, we also Pac-Man World Repack, I think it's called, was announced as well. We had Blanc, which was kind of a kind of cool black and white style adventure game, which kind of looked cool. Monkey Island, Return to Monkey Island was announced as well, I think, with all the returning voice cast and developers for that one. So if you have all those Monkey Island fans out there, looking like it's going to come out soon. It's got a slightly different art style than we're used to from the old Monkey style, but still got that charm. We had Mario Rabbids Sparks of Hope. Gave us a release date for October 20 this year. I was one of those ones that thought, why are we putting Mario with the Rabbids? What a weird combo, but for whatever reason, the game itself was actually really good. And I've got hopes that this sequel is going to be just as good, if not better, from the gameplay they showed.
Is it the same Ubisoft team, or have Nintendo now pulled it in-house, you know?
I believe it is the same team. I can't speak 100% to that because it says Nintendo and Ubisoft there. So yeah, that's it looks like it's the same team, but they've gone a ways to make it looking at the gameplay they showed, to make it look a bit more interactive for some of those people that might, you know, sit back and look and not want to do a lot of that turn-based gameplay stuff. But for me, it's very XCOM. I really enjoy XCOM, and I enjoy that combat style, and I think it works really well within this game. I think the way they animate it and the way the game works and the way they blend the Mario with the Rabbids, I think is actually very clever. It's one of those mixes you didn't know you wanted till you got it, and I think it actually works. And yeah, I just enjoy the style of the game. And like the first game, I fell off only because I got stuck on one of the last bosses and just could not beat no matter what I did. So I just gave up. But I think I'll probably be giving this a go when it comes out. What about you boys? Have any of you played the Mario Rabbids games?
I played the original for maybe 6 to 8 hours, and it was good, but it didn't really hook me. That the turn-based mechanics kind of not for me, so I fell off it. I don't know, maybe 10 levels in or something, I think I got. But my boys, my youngest Desmond absolutely loves it. He plays it a fair bit.
No, I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a fantastic mix. As annoying as those Rabbids are, I'd almost got to the point where I'd rather just the Mario characters. But really enjoyed the first one. Looking forward to this one as well.
Yeah, nice. What do we had next? We had
Little Noah,
Sign of Paradise. Can't remember too much about that one. We had Railgrade, RPG Time, The Legend of Right. Then we had a new Sonic Frontiers trailer. So we'd seen a fair bit of Sonic Frontiers going forward. This is the first trailer they've showed. They show the actual gameplay where you actually unlock the side-scrolling Sonic missions and more first-person mode Sonic that we're used to in the fast-paced missions. So that was first shown on a Switch version, which is not the best way to show it because, let's face it, the Switch version is nowhere near as good-looking as the next-gen consoles and then that. But no, this game is kind of intriguing me even more, the fact that we've got this open-world Mario... not Sunshine. What was the most recent Sunshine Mario we had?
Odyssey.
So it's got that kind of open world gameplay of Odyssey, plus you get to do these activities that unlock these old school Sonic side-scrolling missions. I think is a pretty good angle to take when it comes to Sonic, and I'm quietly hopeful about this game. I still think they need to delay it and not bring it out this year, just given the fact we're still seeing a lot of pop-in and stuff with the graphics and all that stuff. And I just want to give them the best chance for a Sonic game to succeed, because I would love to say that I like a Sonic game, but at the moment there's not one Sonic game that I've played that I'm hooked on Sonic. I've preferred the movies and any other media on Sonic other than the actual video game. So I'd like to say that I enjoy a Sonic video game, and I don't want any graphical glitches or whatever get in the way of that enjoyment. So please push it back, or don't release it on Switch, because I don't feel it's going to run very well on there. But the trailer we got did show some good gameplay stuff.
Excellent. What was next?
Disney Dreamlight Valley, pass. What do we have next? I mean, don't pass. Minecraft Legends was seen at the Summer Games Fest. Yep. Dragon Quest Treasures looked kind of cool. Like, I don't mind Dragon Quest, and this kind of had a kind of treasure hook that I can kind of be into, but I'm not going to be. Portal Companion Collection. It was good to see Portal coming to Switch. I'm not sure what your guys' thoughts of that are, but I could see Portal being quite fun to play.
I love me some Portal. Sign me up anytime there's a new Portal game. I'm ready for number 3. But didn't they come out and state they were never doing a Portal 3?
No Portal 3, no Half-Life 3.
Yeah, which is a shame. But this is the repack of 1 and 2, is it? First time out on Switch. There's nothing new.
I don't believe there's anything new, just the Companion Collection out today. So it's already out on Switch if you want to pick that up. We had Harvestella was next, which was a weird kind of what's that game? Like a base building game with the farms and stuff. It looked like that.
Stardew Valley type thing.
Yeah, that's the one. Yep. Stardew Valley type game, not for me. But what is for me, and I'm guessing is for Bully. I'm guessing Bully looked at this and his little weeb little mind just blew out. Bully, tell me your feelings about Persona 5 coming to Switch.
I've got no interest on the Switch, to be honest with you. If you're going to offer it to me on the PS5, the Xbox, and the Switch, and you're wanting me to play it at the best frame rate and all that sort of stuff, the Switch is the last place I'm going.
True, but what about P4G and P3P, Bully? Because all people say that these Persona games are very much enjoyed handheld, and that's what part of their appeal is being able to take P5R Royal, with you on the go. Obviously, being a father at home of children and a wife, it probably you don't find that option to happen a lot. That you're going solo and playing these games on the move. But is that a good option, a way to play these games, you reckon?
Oh, I think it's a good option in the long term, and it brings broader appeal to it. But I think I've said on a couple of occasions, I just can't. I really struggle with handheld stuff these days. But for those that can get into it and enjoy it and use the Switch in the handheld mode, I reckon it'd be fantastic, especially if you haven't played them on the PSP or the Vita in their original form. Obviously, a bigger screen, hopefully a better frame rate than those two machines, and good luck to you if that's how you want to play it. It's just probably not for me.
Yeah, no, agreed. I played Persona 4. I've been playing Persona 4 on Vita. It was a cool experience, and being able to play that again on the Switch might be good. But yeah, I think you nailed on the head with Persona 5 Royal. Like that game, I think is better experience on a big TV because it's such a cool experience and stuff with the characters and with the gameplay that's going on, with the music. It's nice to just have on that big screen. But I think, yeah, being able to take it like portable is a different option. That it's one of those, because it does take 100+ hours to play. Like it would be nice to sit in a car and just play some Persona as well.
Yeah, I suppose that for me, you probably hit the nail on the head a little bit. The music for me in that, especially Persona 5, the music in that game for me makes it. And to have it on a big screen TV with speakers on and sitting back and just taking it all in. I know you probably get a little bit of the same vibe with the headphones, but the music for me just does that game absolute wonders.
Have they?
Oh, and it's funny you say that. Oh, I was going to say, I just I Spotified and just went straight to the soundtrack on Persona 5 Royal just the other day just to listen to it. And God, that soundtrack just absolutely rocks. It is such a good soundtrack.
Have they released any Persona games on just native, Android, iOS?
No, they haven't.
Interesting.
I don't know. That's the next point, mate. It looks like Persona's going everywhere at the moment. So tell me if this game actually does launch Android or Apple Store or something at some point, because it looks like the cat's out of the bag now. Now that they've got it on all these other consoles, I don't think it's going to be too far off hitting an Android release or something, because I think that would fit absolutely perfectly into their wheelhouse there. And if they want to make money, why not chuck it on there for $5? I think you'll see a lot of sales.
Yeah, or Xbox Game Pass and just stream it to your handset.
Woo!
All right, story 5 this evening. Skull and sorry, Steve, have I cut you off?
I'm there. You got me?
Yeah, no, sorry, man. I thought you had something else for story 4. I thought I'd moved on too early.
Go for it.
All right, IGN brings us story 5, Skull and Bones inching closer to release with ESRB rating. What is going on, Steve?
I put this on there because this is one of those games that we heard about, back in 2001. It feels, because it's been on the cards for ages. It's gone to a point where, why even bring this game out? It was initially touted as the game to be like, oh, everyone loved Black Flag, Assassin's Creed Black Flag so much, and the pirate, combat and all that kind of jazz. Let's make a whole game based on that. But since that's happened, they've brought out multiple other Assassin's Creed games that have done ship battling just as good, if not better. Why are we going to play a game that's just based on the ship combat alone, and let alone now that it's, we're not in that glory period of everyone enjoying that gameplay because we've already done it, multiple times since. So I thought it's weird that, this game's now looking like it's close to release, and whether it's going to come out this year or not, but it sounds like they might have enhanced some of the gameplay stuff. But another thing I think getting in its way is the fact that Sea of Thieves has come out since and done so well. So I don't know whether that's partly the reason that it's actually been delayed, because it's looked at Sea of Thieves and gone, oh, shit, we need to, course correct, no pun intended, with how our game is going to look, and whether they go to some kind of, free-to-play model. I don't know. I could see Ubisoft been doing some weird things lately, and I don't like you used to know what you're getting with the Ubisoft game, but it just feels like they don't really know what they want to do at the moment with some of these games. And a lot, you put out all this live service games and stuff. How many different people are going to be playing all these or have this time for all these live service games? And who's going to be playing a game that's, based off when did Assassin's Creed Black Flag come out? It's based off, that
14?
game essentially.
Was it 2014, I want to say?
Yeah, I mean, we could believe you want to fact check us, but it's
2013 off the top of my head.
2013. Well, either way, you're looking at 7-8 years old game that they're basing this game off of its popularity. I just don't see it doing well, even if you bring it out now. Especially as I said, with the likes of Sea of Thieves being a very good co-op based online pirate game. So I just don't know how it's going to go. The fact that it's still alive baffles me.
I love it. Anything from you on this one, Billy?
2013. I'll just check there. Yeah, I'm a bit in agreement. So I stand to be surprised because I've just got this little inkling. I'm hearing everything you're saying, Steve, that it just looks. It's got everything that should have a question mark on it, but there's a little something in me that just says if they can add something to that formula, they can update it. They've obviously released, as you said, that the Assassin's Creed Odyssey that had the better ship fighting combat in it. If they can add that with a couple of either hopefully third-person stuff on the side, I've just got a little inkling that despite the development hell that it's been through, that there might be something there.
Yeah, and I know Ubisoft, going back and playing Odyssey and looking at the graphics of a game that's however old now and how pretty that game is, if they can pull you into a graphic fidelity within this world that is just next gen, I can see that being the hook that does deliver on something like a Sea of Thieves that is more your cartoony style, as gorgeous as it does look and feel to play. If you can play this game as a third-person pirate and you can get out and you can walk around your ship, you can walk around hub areas and stuff like that, and which is what it looks like from stuff that's leaked. That's what's probably going to happen as well. They have gone back to the drawing board and gone, we need to include this kind of stuff to be relevant today. If they do that, I can see that happening. It's just, I just hope they nail it, because otherwise I'm just not sure what kind of audience they're going to get.
Well, the other thing I look at is, let's be honest, I know they've had a couple of hiccups in terms of initial release, but when's the last time that you had a terrible Ubisoft game?
That's true. Like,
well, I'm blanking on the name. The last Tom Clancy one that put a stop to all their live service. Yeah, what was the Breakpoint? No, after that, Wildlands.
Ghost Recon.
Breakpoint. Wildlands wasn't. No, Wildlands was a good game. Breakpoint
was the last one.
It got better over time. They had all the Splinter Cell DLC and stuff, and actually, as bad a game. It's just the way they delivered it wasn't the best. But
that's the one they cited, isn't it? Didn't what's his name? Yils Gilmont? Didn't he get on stage and do the big, I'm sorry, we realise how bad it was. We've put a brakes on everything. Yeah. That's when they announced the Assassin's Creed no longer being annual. All that came as a result of how bad Breakpoint was.
Yeah. So, I mean, it seems like Ubisoft, I don't know, they're doubling down on their live service games. They've had some success with Division and Division 2, which I'll speak for myself, but I know Bully as well and Foy, we both really enjoyed the Division series, and I'd love to see a number 3 in that series as well. But they're really doubling down on their live service games. I'm just like, how many live service games can you offer and spread your player base across all those games till you get not enough people playing any of them? That's the problem I find and especially with Assassin's Creed Infinite or whatever coming out, which is being touted as an online, always online game as well. That's going to be in the same vein as all these games. I just don't know what's your player base look like?
Well, who knows? The other question is, Steve, is with the Battle Pass, all the online service games. They've been speaking recently about Halo Infinite, and they don't have the numbers on their team to produce enough content. For each level, here's an unlock of X for in-game. Like Halo Infinite is struggling there. How many live service games with pirate ships? How many assets can you make to unlock?
Yeah,
it's crazy. It's crazy. Bitten off more than they can chew, possibly.
Crazy. It's crazy. And I'll just speak to one thing. Halo Infinite is the only poor experience I've had on cloud. For whatever reason, every time I try and play the campaign on Xbox Cloud, my guns don't spawn on the screen playing the campaign. That's just a small side note.
To be fair, most people that have played that have had a poor experience. So we'll just.
Shut up, bully.
Zing! I love it. All right.
Infringement notice to bully.
Story 6 this evening from Polygon. Like the PS5 design, maybe you'll like Sony's new gaming monitors and headsets. Recently announced gaming monitors and headsets. Steve, are they the most ugly-looking gaming headsets you've ever seen?
Yeah, they're up there. I mean, it looks pretty similar to the Pulse headset I've got, but the Pulse headset actually looks nicer than the one I'm looking at here on screen.
Yeah, the Pulse headset looks a lot nicer.
I mean, I haven't really gone into what they're doing. I know they've got some kind of, the screen's going to have like 240 hertz refresh rate at 1080p or something like that. And then there's another monitor that's doing 144 hertz refresh rate.
Yep.
Or something. So I think the price, I think it was the M9 is $900 or $899, and then the M5 is $529. That's probably US prices. So probably looking at around $1,000 for the M9, about what $600-700 for the M5 for Australia.
Yeah, plus probably another 50% by the time it comes out.
Yeah, that's right. So I mean, I'm not in the market for any of this stuff, but I'm sure there's plenty of people that are. I don't know what your thoughts are.
No, I just thought the headset looked particularly bad. They remind me of the old, if you're at an airport, you see all the people running around in those big headphones to protect their ears. They reminded me of those. They're pretty poor design. And then the monitor, why is it standing on a tripod? It just makes no sense to me. It just looks so ugly to my eye. Where were the designers on this one? Where was that? When was the last time you saw a tally on a tripod? I don't know. That's just bizarre.
Well, they were probably too busy waving the planes in, to be honest with you.
If they come out with a flight sim, I think maybe we've picked it early. Flight sim coming to PlayStation 5. All right.
Top Gun Maverick.
Oh, yes, please.
It'll be the best game to go with the best movie ever made.
I still haven't seen it, but I'm keen to get back in there and see it. All right, that'll bring us to the end of the news, which is, of course, Game Informer's list of games coming out this week. Steve, please, mate, take the honours.
I'll go through this pretty quick because there's not a whole bunch worth playing. We've got G.E.A 6 Complete Edition. We've got DNF Duel coming out on PlayStation 5 June 28. G.E.A was also June 28.
Sorry.
Wait,
DNF Duel, is that Duke Nukem Forever Duel?
It's probably not. It's got to stand for something. What does DNF stand for? Anyone
did not finish? Because DNF would be did not finish is what jumps to my mind, but that's too many years doing sports productions, I think.
I'm scrolling through this thing and I can't see anything. It looks like a fighting game, but yeah, DNF's all I've got. We have Escape Academy coming out June 28 as well, which it looks like a cool escape room type game, which could be fun with friends. We have Phobia St. Dinfa Hotel, which I have had a look at. It looks very Resident Evil 7/8ish, more 7 in the mansion. It's a first-person horror game with some puzzles and stuff. I think it's $44.95 Australian, but it's been getting some pretty decent pre-reviews from what I've read. A lot of people are really enjoying the. It's not a big download by any means, so I don't think it's going to have the fidelity of something like Resident Evil, but it does very much harken to that in the combat. So I can't see myself spending money on that, but if it comes to Game Pass, sign me up.
Nice.
A little Noah Scion of Paradise. It looks very weeby, so Bully, you can tell us about that next week when you purchase it. June 28, 2022 for PlayStation 4, Switch, and PC.
It's funny you mentioned that because that was one of the games that piqued my interest in the Nintendo Direct.
Did it pique it so much you've pre-ordered it, mate? Is it on its way?
Well, it's funny you say that because I did jump on and try and find a physical version and I can't find one anywhere, so I'm hoping Limited Run do one for me.
Oh, Bully, I'd love to see your dungeon. MX versus ATV Legends, also June 28. There's a lot of games here. I think I've checked the store recently. They're all up at the moment, currently available. PS5, Xbox Series X and S, PlayStation 4, Xbox One, PC. MX vs ATV, they've always been pretty good games when it comes to the arcade bike racing sims. So if you like that, get into that. We have Portal Companion Collection, as spoken about earlier, coming to Switch June 28, available now on the Switch. We have a Rogue Book on Stadia. No one owns a Stadia, so don't worry about that.
Another release for Stadia. Didn't they shut it down? I swear to God, it's dead. How are games still coming out for it? Crazy.
Sorry, it lives on. We have Cuphead, the Delicious Last Course, a beautiful DLC. I love that they've called their Delicious Last Course DLC. Very clever there.
Does anyone have a price on that one?
No price. I know. Isn't Cuphead Game Pass though on Xbox?
Oh, is it? I've only ever played Cuphead on PS4. I didn't even know it was on Xbox, to be honest.
It is definitely on the Xbox. I think it's Game Pass. I can't be 100% sure, but I've definitely played it on the Xbox. I do own it. I think I did buy it back in the day as well, but I never finished it, and it's very hard. It's one of those games that I probably should challenge myself to finish just for the fact that it is hard, just like your Sifus and stuff that like I need to finish because they're hard games, so I can say I'm a hashtag gamer.
Wait a minute, Steve.
So maybe.
How far do you reckon I got in it?
I reckon you didn't even finish the first boss.
Bingo! I didn't even get up to the first boss. I could not get through that first level.
Mate, I've done better than that. I'm towards the end of the game, and there's a boss I'm up to that I just can't do. Which sucks. This is one of those games I really just want an easy mode because I enjoy the art style so much and what they do with that level design that I just want to be able to play it and experience it. Give me all the accessibility options just to drop it all down. Let me experience the game, just like a lot of other games do that give you the accessibility. Like I don't care if I'm trying to chase trophies or the game's meant to be played hard. Just give me a baby mode that I can play through and just enjoy on my own terms.
The way I enjoyed Cuphead was my wife and son played at couch co-op, and I just sat next to them and enjoyed watching them not fall to their death constantly. It was quite enjoyable.
Yeah, nice. Bully, did you play Cuphead at all?
Yeah, played it. I think I got up to the third island, and then it just got the better of me. It's damned hard. I just had a look there. The DLC is about 10-ish Australian dollars.
Oh, is that all? That's good news. I thought it was going to be 30, 40.
No, well, it's saying $8 US from what I can see.
That's great.
Nice. I wanted to get back into Cuphead and finish it once and for all and be the ultimate gamer on G.E.A, but we'll get to that soon.
Do we know if you buy the DLC, can you jump straight to it, or do you have to clear the main game before you can access it, even if you've purchased it?
No, I think it's separate. I think it's a separate island that you can access from the main island.
Very good.
Then we had, as spoken about earlier, Monster Hunter Rise Sunbreak, which was during the Switch, the Nintendo Switch show that we had that June 30, it got a 7.75 from Game Informer. As I mentioned earlier, it was around that 8, so it's true. We've got Outriders World Slayer coming out June 30 as well, expansion to Outriders, which we really enjoyed. We've got some few streams up on the channel as well.
Great.
Troy grinding away.
Oh, well, Steve grinding away and me just dying and hobbling around slowly waiting for the res. I would love to get... That's all right, mate. I'll cover it. I would love to check this out, but it's full price. It's $60. Whoa.
Yeah, not cheap. And apparently it sounds like it hasn't added a whole bunch to it. Like it's a lot of more good content on top of what we've already got, but it doesn't change the mold too much. Apparently it's a very grindy last boss that's not ideally fun to fight at the end, but I don't think I'll play that until it's hopefully hitting Game Pass, just like the game itself is.
Yeah, or significantly cheaper. But I would think I might have been one of the few people that absolutely fell in love with the story from Outriders. I thought it was so well told, really interesting take on sort of space exploration. Did you guys enjoy the story? It was a real standout for me.
I enjoyed the story as well. I don't think I ever finished the game because I was held.
Oh, that ending!
On the hardest difficulty that I was on, and I didn't want to dump it down to like not get better loot, so I just sort of gave up, which just sucks because I should just chuck it on my easy mode and just finish it.
Drop it down and finish it, man. The ending to that game is phenomenal. Really, like it sells the whole rest of the game. I would sort of sit in at maybe like a 6 or a 7 from a story standpoint throughout, but then at the end it kicks it up to like a 12 and makes up for everything it missed earlier. I'm so keen to check out World Slayer just to see where the story goes from the first one. I would love to be able to check that out.
Did you play Outriders?
I did. I got up to, I think the most I ever put into it was getting up to that first section, basically tutorial, into the that sort of world hub.
The beta portion.
Yeah, the beef portion. It didn't really hook me. I'm not a big sci-fi man anyway, but that I'll stick with my Weebery. The sci-fi doesn't. It has to have a really good hook for it to get me, and that one just didn't. It just seemed to me, again, the story might get better, but it just seemed like a pretty generic sort of storyline to me. But
that's exactly what I'm saying, man. It was sitting like a 6-7 for most of that game, but then the ending is so worth it. The payoff is fantastic in that, I reckon.
Nice. And now, not to be confused with the whale, we have Formula 1 2022 on
I see what you
PlayStation 5
did there,
Xbox.
Steve.
It's PlayStation 4, Xbox One. It's pretty much coming out everything except the Stadia. Unfortunately, I'd love to play it on my Stadia, but unfortunately, I can't. Formula 1 2022. It's good to see Formula 1's now available to now be in Melbourne because of no COVID. So that is all our games coming out this week. There's only maybe one or two that pique my interest on there. We shall see how we go.
Excellent. Now I need to hit a button. Where am I heading? Am I heading to the standoff? Is it standoff time?
It's standoff time, Troy.
Who will fight?
Oh, nailed it. All right, it's the standoff. Steve, whom is fighting in the pit this evening?
Tonight we have the most iconic game character associated with the colour green. And which of these two would you join together for a new co-op game? And what would that co-op game be? So let's start with number one, Troy, on our list, the big man, Master Chief.
Go for it, Steve. That footage is rolling. What am I looking at? What is Master Chief pulling around?
Could there be any more iconic green armor than the Master Chief? I mean, yes, there's another one on this list that has green armor as well, but Master Chief is defined by his green armor. He has never been in any other armor other than green. This guy has fought battles across multiple worlds, not just our own, and he has defeated so many enemies: grunts, elites, brutes, humans when you accidentally shoot them in the back of their head. Like, this guy's done everything. It's all been in the color green. He is like Xbox is, their color is green. Halo Master Chief, his color is green. He's synonymous with Xbox. He is the mascot of Xbox. It's just, do we get anyone more iconic in the color green? Troy and Bully.
No, we don't. We've peaked early.
And I think you're forgetting he doesn't just wear the color green. He also wears the color buff.
Oh! He does. He's buff. He's green. He's mean. This dude, he knows how to flex his muscles. Let's go with that F word. That works better. Next on the list, Troy. I think we've spoken enough about Master Chief.
On we go. Number two is rolling.
I did mention another bloke in green. This guy was Master Chief before there was Master Chief. The Doom guy, he was in green as well. And, one might say that Master Chief copied his armor. But you know what? Master Chief can stick his finger up to that because Master Chief he has slightly more green to his armor. But no, the Doom guy is pretty badass, and he has always worn the iconic green armor as well. And he kicks demons' asses on Mars, so it's pretty badass in his own right.
I don't think he has moved anywhere near as many units as the old Master Chief has, however.
No, that's probably, that's true. I mean, how many Doom games, Halo games have we got? There's a fair count to make there because they could possibly come out very similar if we actually decide to add them up. I think Master Chief might have Doom pegged, but there's quite a few Doom games. Like, if anyone wants to do the maths quickly for us, let us know. But I think Master Chief might take the cake for games developed.
He's got to, surely.
There's a lot of Doom games out there, let's be honest.
I can think of, 5 off the top of my head?
You got 5 there?
Oh, I'm just thinking off the top of my head. I can think of about 5 Doom games, but I can think about 12 Halos, I reckon.
Well, it depends on the iterations, though, because they're all... Like the original Doom had the PC version, but the SNES version was a different one. And then they had it on the PS1, which was different again. And then they had Doom 64, which was different again.
Very true, mate. Very true.
That's true. All right, cool. We've done our 2 big boy hitters. What have we got next for on the list?
Next up, we have Zelda. Well, Link.
Well, we've got Link. Everyone, most people out there probably think that Link's name is Zelda because let's face it, a lot of us did think that a lot of the time. And our parents were always like, "Oh, how cute's Link? How cute's Zelda?" Like, Mum, that's Link. God damn it. But no, Link, well known for his green tunic in pretty much all the games, really, except for the most recent iteration, Breath of the Wild, where he dons a new blue tunic. So, how well tied and how iconic is Link in his green? I'd say not that much, considering they decided just to, go and flip that on and give him light blue.
Yeah, unfortunately, was there an unlock? Was there an unlock at the end of? You just said it, but I dropped it. He gets green
Breath
at the end.
Of the Wild, Yeah, you can unlock 2 green outfits. You can unlock the wind suit, which was akin to the Wind Waker, and you can unlock the Ocarina of Time like outfit as well, I believe.
Yep.
Not easy to do. Definitely not easy to do, but definitely not forefront in the Breath of the Wild was the green tunic. But I dare say that Link's green outfit is very iconic when it comes to game characters and very, it's almost like it was a shame that we saw him in the blue because, green is Link. Link is, Zelda is green tunic Link. That's what I'm like. If you think Zelda, you're just thinking of Link in a green tunic. Tell me I'm wrong.
You're completely correct, man. Had they ever stated why that change was made for Breath of the Wild?
Not sure. I think it could do something with the vast green pastures that you are walking amongst. The fact that they wanted to contrast that amongst all that, maybe. But I mean, who knows? Link, he's fought Ganon, he's fought Calamity Ganon, Barty, Yuga, whole bunch of enemies. He's been there, he's done that. He's, as far as bad guys taken out, he's done his fair share in terms of what Master Chief and Doom Guy have done as well. So, he's hitting that iconic green and he's destroyed a lot of bad guys. So, Link's, he's up there. He's up there.
He is indeed. Fourth up, is this Frogger, Steve?
Oh, speaking of up there, you can't be up there without jumping, can you, Troy?
Well, jumping and falling to your death, I can do that pretty well.
One might say we don't get any of these characters in their green outfits if it wasn't for Frogger. One might say that. One might also say that it's got nothing to do with Frogger at all because it was a shit game with a frog. But you know what? He's green. He's iconic. And you know what? It's Frogger. Everyone knows Frogger. There's probably more people that know Frogger than know who Link is from Zelda. Like most people go, that's Zelda. Like, no, that's Link. But you look at Frog, you look at him jumping across the level, you go, that's Frogger, and he's green. Like, come on.
Definitely.
Come on. We're making a case for Frogger. All right, Bully, what do you reckon? Frogger? Number one?
I will not hear disparaging remarks about Frogger. That was an 80s classic that sucked in many of my dollar coins back then. Well, I don't think I had dollar coins back when I was playing it, but certainly sucked a lot of coins. Love it. Love it.
So what you're saying, Bully, is Frogger, he gets the win. Let's not even bother with the rest of the list.
If only there was a sequel, Frogger dating someone in the high school literature club. It certainly would.
Well, I hope Steve has tucked in someone in green in Persona for you then, Bully. We can suggest the mashup.
It's funny you should say that. I actually Googled for this list. I didn't get anyone on there. I Googled weeb green character just to see what I could find. just for Bully. I couldn't find anyone. There was a couple with green hair and shit, but I was like, nah, that's not worth the list. But it was almost worth it just for the gag. But
Number 5, someone from Street Fighter.
It's Blanca. If it's someone from Street Fighter, Troy, there's only one green character in fucking Street Fighter that's green.
I can't even summon him to mind. I'm waiting for him to come up on screen. Oh, of course. Mate, if anyone can be more iconic green character, it's the fact that he was also a ranger and he was cool. Like, who makes red hair cool? This guy does. That's enough saying right there. Like, I loved playing Blanca back in the day in the Street Fighter, mainly for the fact he was green. Like, yeah, you kind of have to you have to look past the fact he's got red hair. But once you do that, this dude, he absolutely kills. He's a ripper character. He's got electricity, Troy. He uses electricity. And he's green. He looks great. All right, next on the list. Oh, now we're talking my language. Here he comes, boys. It's Yoshi.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I think we're losing you there, Steve.
Oh, no, I was just doing a Yoshi noise. It probably didn't work too well.
Sorry, I thought it was break up on your mic.
It sounded like a break of my whale noise, but it was actually Yoshi. So I'm a little bit offended, but not much. So not only is Yoshi green, but he has a ridiculously long tongue. Am I right, ladies? He's fast. He's got his own game. He used to be Mario's plaything, but now he's got his own games. He's been woolly. He's been crafted. Like, how many different worlds can this dude live in where he's just absolutely adorable? And it doesn't matter what, fabric you put him in. This guy, he absolutely, he's Nintendo's bad
Yeah,
guy.
I am a big fan of Yoshi. What about you, Billy? What's your history with the Yoshi?
Well, Yoshi goes back to the SNES, the first Mario game on that one, and then obviously had the sequel. The name escapes me at the moment, but it was Mario 2 Yoshi's Island, I think, wasn't it?
Super Mario World 2 had Super Mario 2 Yoshi's Island. Is that the one you're talking about?
Yeah, that's what I was talking about. So that's my Yoshi involvement. I haven't played a lot. I've played a little bit of the new one on the Switch, but that's about been my involvement in Yoshi ever since.
Did they put Yoshi in All-Star Brawl? Is he a selectable character? Not All-Star Brawl. What is it? Is that the right one? Is that the Nintendo one?
Smash Brothers.
Smash Brothers. That's what I'm trying to think of. Is he in Smash Brothers? Thank you.
Oh, there's all these Nintendo fanboys just like throwing daggers at you right now. No, like Yoshi is my go-to in Mario Kart, like all the time. Yoshi on a motorbike just absolutely destroys anything else in Mario Kart. He's my favorite Mario character going around. I just love Yoshi. I'll use him in anything. I still remember playing the Nintendo 64 version of Mario 64, and my favorite part of that game was finding Yoshi on top of the roof once you found all the stars, and he was just there. And I'm like, Yoshi, and then you just talk to him, but it was still the best part of that whole game.
Excellent. Whoa, we got some weirdness on there. They're moving on. Luigi's Mansion. Oh, Luigi, of course.
Luigi. Green Mario, as he's affectionately known as.
The old 8-bit colour swap.
There's no slouch, though. Like, to be honest, I'm going to go out on a limb here and say my favourite Mario game, Troy, is Luigi's Mansion.
I am right there with you, man. I was never really a big Luigi fan until Luigi's Mansion 3. He sold me on the whole Luigi's franchise.
Oh, just his comical timing when it comes to like the ghosts and stuff. Like, we know it's like not real because he's acting, but like that dude can act when the ghosts come there. He pulls off the facial expressions. It's one of the best looking games on the Switch, and they've obviously reserved that. Like Mario, you're not going to get the best graphics. You know what? We know the real GOAT. It's Luigi.
He is, although one other comes to mind when you say Luigi's Mansion 3, Steve. That'd be, of course, Luigi. Next up, it's Luigi.
You can't have Luigi without Luigi. Yeah, Luigi, iconic. Like, you just need Luigi when it comes to Luigi. They're synonymous with each other now. I don't think you can have any other Luigi game without Luigi because I think those two combined are the perfect pair. And I haven't played a better co-op experience than I've played with Luigi as my companion.
Yeah,
he can't catch globes, as you can see in the footage here, but that dude sure as heck can get through a bar of metal bars. You can just squeeze right.
I'm going to say best co-op game there is going, I reckon, Luigi's Mansion 3, when you get to rock him and put your son onto Luigi himself. Best gaming pair ever, in my mind.
It's good, Bully. Have you, Luigi, mentioned it?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Finished the one on the Switch, loved it. Went back and got the GameCube one, and I'm sort of halfway through that one as well.
Oh, look at you. So where's Luigi standing on this list at the moment? Is he up there? Is he down? Where's Luigi? Where are we standing at the moment?
Well, Luigi can just go away, but
well, I so go away, EG is what you're saying.
Go away, G. Yep. Oh, look, he's certainly sitting above Master Chief, Doom Guy, and we'll see where we go with the next couple.
I'm confused, couple. You said I'm confused where you're going with your number one now. I'm very confused.
All right. Well, next up, we have Reptile.
Or as we like to call him, Green Scorpion or Green Sub-Zero, which is what he started out as. I remember playing the original Mortal Kombat back in the day on computer and really enjoying this character. I think there was a fair bit you had to do before you got him, and he was just literally the reskin of Scorpion. But he did get a rebranding where he had like full reptile skin and looked more like a T-Rex, which I kind of enjoyed. But no, like there's always been that Mysterio, Mysterio around Reptile, and just, I don't know, he's one of those cooler characters in the Mortal Kombat franchise that whenever he seems to pop up, everyone seems to lose their minds about him, and I can see why. He's kind of the Yoshi of Mortal Kombat.
Let's get Luigi in there. All right, next up, what do we got, Steve? Someone from Pokemon.
We got Bulbasaur, Troy. Bulbasaur, he's a green Pokemon. Like, that's what they call him. When you go your red Pokemon, your blue Pokemon, what do you call them? Fire or grass? Like, grass is green. Bulbasaur is green. He's a pretty iconic Pokemon character for that green sector. And one might argue he's the most popular green Pokemon going around. I mean, Bully, what do you reckon?
Love Bulbasaur. Love him. I don't like what he evolves into, but I love his initial form.
Now, Bully,
Bully, what does he evolve into?
You had to throw that at me. Give me a sec.
Give me a sec while I just Google it.
Well, hold on, Bully, I've got one for you, mate. Now, before you joined us on the show, of course, Steve was dubbed our resident Pokemon expert, but it sounds like maybe, do you have him picked? Do you have more hours in the Pokemon franchise than Unky Dunky?
Well, I don't know about the more hours, but I can tell you it goes Bulbasaur, Venusaur, and the next one... Oh, I'm having a slow load here. I'll get back to you.
You can tell us, or Google could tell us.
No. Well, I think it goes to Bulbasaur then Venusaur. But when he goes to Venusaur, he's not the cute little thing he was to start with, and that's where I sort of jump out.
Nah, fair call.
So finally on the list on offer this evening for the mashup game we're about to play, Battletoads.
So my other people, as you said, the poor man's Ninja Turtles, which aren't on this list. The reason for this list is because we have been playing and absolutely loving the Shredder's Revenge TMNT game. It'd be unfair to put the Turtles on this list because I would give them the win outright because they are my favourite green thing of all time. I do like pears and apples as well, but Ninja Turtles are definitely the top of that list. But Battletoads, I did enjoy the remake of Battletoads. I thought it was really cool art style. I never played the original, but these guys are pretty iconic. They are pretty much the poor man's Ninja Turtles. They are toads. Not quite as cool as a turtle. Probably give more diseases than turtles do to people. So that's thus the basis of their appeal, I suppose. The fact that these ones aren't giving you diseases, you get to ride on motorbikes and crash them into walls. So, yeah, good on you, Battletoads.
I love it. Now, Steve, would you mind refreshing our memory now that we have all the players available? The game now is to mash two of them up, correct?
It is to mash two of them up into your favourite, or what co-op game you would like to play with these games, and what kind of game would it be? So we've got quite a few options here. I mean, you could go your Master Chief with your Doom, but you could get more crazy. You go Master Chief with Frogger. I don't know. What are you guys thinking? What do we mash?
Do you want to go first, Bully, or I've got one ready, but I'm not sure it's going to be the best on offer.
All right, I'll go this for you. So we've got Link. So he's done the Musou style games, which is the Hyrule Warrior, which is basically hundreds of enemies on screen at one time.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
You pair him with Bulbasaur, and we've just recently, or the latest one was Pokemon Arceus. So you go out there, you're roaming around the big world, you're catching your Pokemon, you're throwing them at them. So you have the co-op game with Link running around with Bulbasaur, catching monsters to then go and fight a massive war against another group of Pokemon. So it can be online, it can be single player, however you want to play it. That's the mash together. And
nice. I thought you were going to say he was just going to round up an army to go and fight. Oh, Ganon, I want to say.
Well, you can do that. I'm not sure how much the Pokemon fit in the Zelda storyline, but feel free to throw it in there.
For my money, and it's not going to be the best one, but it's a simple one. What I'd love to do is get Master Chief, and we'll have a Cortana upgrade. And instead of Cortana, what we'll have in his ear is G.E.A. And when you get in a tight spot, I was thinking Master Chief could just extract G.E.A. from his suit, and we can go into co-op mode to get through the tough bits of the Halo games that I struggle with.
Troy, you literally just stole my idea.
Sorry, man.
That's right. I'm going to have to change it up then. I'm going to have, let's go with Frogger and Reptile. just change it up. So Reptile's fatality is the fact that he brings out Frogger, and Frogger just like absolutely destroys some guy's face and then crawls inside their eyes and then chews their brain and then hops across the screen screaming at the player. Just I don't know. That's all I got now. It's because I had to think on the fly.
Sorry, Steve. Maybe we should coordinate a bit better in future.
That's okay, but no, we do have to pick a most iconic game character associated with the colour green. Where are you guys sitting? I'm going to go with Bully first because I'm intrigued with Bully sitting with this one.
Well, seeing as you won't let me use the Witcher,
No,
green, the Witcher green armor that's been thrown out the window, I'm going to go with Link. I have to go with Link.
Okay. Troy, where are you sitting?
Oh, I'm sitting with Master Chief, man. Master Chief for me takes the biscuits. I think if you just cold ask people in the street, I think every time Master Chief's going to win that question. Who are these characters? I think most identifiable would be Master Chief, so I got to give it to him.
Yeah, see, my top three, I had Link, Master Chief, and Yoshi as my top three. I could see the argument for Link, the fact that he is iconic. He's been across multiple generations. He is renowned. He is renowned for that green tunic. But I also see Master Chief. He's never swayed from the green. He's Link. We spoke about it. He's moved to the blue tunic, Bully. He's forgotten his ways recently. He's just like he's moved away. Halo Infinite.
Look, it was more aqua. It was a hue. It was a hue of green.
Mate, there was no green in that whatsoever. I'm gonna have to maybe swing with Master Chief, the legend of Xbox. Xbox is green. Master Chief is green. Let's go with Master Chief.
I agree. Master Chief, a winner. Be you. Do I have a... Not that one. That was who will find who win. That's the end of the standoff, which brings us to... Are we up to audience interrogation, Steve?
We are. I just might say that if it was... We were voting for... good TV shows involving characters from an Xbox game, it wouldn't be going to Master Chief. So just for everyone else out there. Where our audience interrogation, jump into the chat right now. It's loading. It's not doing its best at loading. So have you got any questions from Discord at the moment while this loads?
I don't have any questions, but what I can say is big shout out to Matt Cypress. He's offered us, for future consideration, 2 great ideas for future standoffs, complete with his list of entries, which I just think is fantastic. So if there's any other audience members out there who want to get in on the action, by all means, leave a comment against the G.E.A. episodes as they come up of any standoff suggestions you've got for us. But Steve, what was happening in the chat this evening?
Mate, we've got Miss Jess Walters in the chat.
What's she got to say for herself?
You might know her. She's she's a regular around here. She did enjoy the Yoshi on a motorbike. We've got some iPhones there. She loved the Go Away EG, which that's one of the best. I'll have to agree. That's one of my best. And she also said the colour green represents peace and security. So this discussion is very interesting for each of your psyches. How do we go, Jess? Where do we land on psyches right now? I mean, I know Bully picks the nice tranquil Link who gets around his kingdom and stuff, and me and Troy picked the guy that shoots aliens in the face.
Yeah, but we wanted to pair him with someone cute and cuddly, Steve. We're trying to balance it out.
We did, but remember I did pair Frogger with Reptile in the end. So, I'm clearly the most psycho out of all of us. So that's it from the chat. Troy, feel free to wrap us up.
Perfect. That'll do it for this week. We'll be back in only a few days. We'll be back on Tuesday, 8:30 next week, right here on Geek Aloud. Make sure you check out the rest of the channel. We've got my son, Colin. He's doing a daily stream, I think 9:15 each day of the school holidays. He's wrapping into Fortnite. He's trying to get to level 100 by the end. He's sitting pretty. I think he's 25 levels in after 4. So I think he should be able to get there. Also, Let's Installs, always continuing on the series. And we have the Let's Plays, Wednesday and Friday mornings. What time do they happen? 10 a.m.-ish, which means tomorrow there's one. Oh, quick straw poll. Anyone available for a stream tomorrow for some multiplayer, guys?
What do you want to play?
No idea. I'm up for suggestions. If you get into that Overwatch 2 beta, that'll be the ticket.
I'll let you know about that.
Beautiful. Well, keep your eyes on the channel. We'll have more content for you coming tomorrow. What else can you do with Geek Aloud? Like it, subscribe it, you'll never...
That's something.
I love everything about it. Ooh.
Fire splash!
Old Uncle Donkey.
Donkey.